This page is the cover of the November 1991 issue of Beep! Mega Drive magazine. The vibrant artwork features a character on a dynamic surfboard-like vehicle soaring over abstract buildings, set against a colorful background with musical notes and stars. The cover loudly announces the issue's focus on upcoming releases and trends for the Sega Mega Drive and the soon-to-be-released Mega CD. A major feature highlights the new games arriving in the autumn season, including well-known titles such as Wonder Boy and Monster World, Super Fantasy Zone, YS2I, Wanderers from YS, and Rolling Thunder 2. Another prominent feature delves into the significant impact of game ports coming to the Mega Drive and explores important software trends, with a specific focus on the exciting lineup and direction of software for the new Mega CD platform. The cover teases new game information for Mega CD titles like Shining Force, Dragon's Fury, Lunar, The Silver Star, Dark Wizard, and Darius, among others, giving readers a glimpse into the system's promising future library. The magazine is clearly gearing up for a packed release schedule and the arrival of new hardware. This page showcases the upcoming Mega Drive title Wonder Boy in Monster World, known in Japan as Monster World 2I, and also carrying the subtitle Wonder Boy V. The page features key information about the game. The main image depicts a grand castle, complementing the tagline, "The hero goes to the castle where the princess waits." 3 screenshots are included, giving players a glimpse of the vibrant pixel art and diverse environments, including a village street, an indoor area, and the exterior of a castle. The page confirms the release date of October 25th and the price of 7,000 yen, excluding tax, for this highly anticipated adventure, which notably includes battery backup for saving progress. This page continues the focus on the highly anticipated Wonder Boy in Monster World, the 5th game in the series. Artwork shows the hero Mash and a fairy against a backdrop of a fantastical castle. The text highlights the game as a thrilling adventure packed with diverse stages, combining exhilarating action with RPG elements. Players must guide the legendary hero Mash to protect the peaceful monster world from an invading monster army and rescue the captured princess using wits and strength. The page also details a special promotional offer celebrating the Mega Drive's success, including bonus items like a unique phone card and entry into a software contest with console purchases, featuring a limited-run Sonic Pack bundle. This page features the Sega TerraDrive software, Puzzle Construction, a powerful tool that allows users to create their own puzzle games. It highlights the creative possibilities, showing interfaces for a menu, a graphic editor where you can design characters and visuals with full color customization, and a parts editor for setting game elements like score size and object placement. The software emphasizes its ability to utilize the TerraDrive's dual CPUs, enabling this depth of game creation. The page features actress and idol Yumiko Takahashi, promoting the software, which is currently available for 9,800 yen. The bottom section provides a comprehensive list of retailers throughout Japan, where the TerraDrive and this software can be found. This page continues, exploring game creation on Sega's powerful TerraDrive system, asking, "Let's make a game." It showcases the specific software editors available, including a rule editor for defining game logic like block speed and clear conditions, a sound editor allowing you to process background music and arrange tones freely, and a background editor for customizing the game's visuals. The page highlights the TerraDrive's advanced hardware, featuring a unique dual CPU setup utilizing both an 80,286 and a 68,000 processor, enabling smooth graphics and expanding game possibilities. It boasts high-resolution VGA graphics and powerful FM sound, and, importantly, can run existing Mega Drive game software. The system also supports Japanese MIN's Windows version 3.0. You can experience the TerraDrive and its software at the Terra Summit 91 event, held in various cities with free admission. The first title showcased is the Puzzle Construction software. Standard pricing is listed for the different models. Model 1 at 148,000 yen, Model 2 at 188,000 yen, and Model 3 at 248,000 yen, excluding tax. An extensive list provides locations across Japan where you can pick up the TerraDrive. There's also a brief mention of the TerraNet communication network launching in August. This page unveils the Sega Mega CD, presented as the complete armament for the Mega Drive, boasting specs aimed firmly at the future. It's hyped as the strongest CLEDROM machine in history, featuring a substantial 6 MB IT buffer RAM, which was huge for its time. This helps cut down access times significantly, quoted at an average of just 0.8 seconds, thanks to a high-speed pickup. The unit is powered by a fast 12.5 MHz MC68000 CPU, enhanced by hardware-based real-time error correction for smooth playback, a critical feature for CD media. This powerful add-on combines seamlessly with the Mega Drive console to significantly power up the system, promising to expand the mega world of gaming possibilities. The magazine presents the Mega CD as rapidly approaching, ready to revolutionize the platform. This page continues the reveal of the Sega Mega CD, the ultimate add-on for the Mega Drive. It highlights the system's power, reiterating key features like the massive 6 MB buffer RAM for quick loading and the fast 12.5 MHz 68000 CPU driving the experience. The unit is presented as a hyper-attachment, set to expand the possibilities of the Mega Drive dramatically. Featured prominently are screenshots of upcoming Mega CD games, showcasing the graphical and audio potential. We see a glimpse of Lunar, the Silver Star, the epic RPG that would become a hallmark of the system. There's also Ernest Evans, known for its whip-cracking action and unique animation style. Two other titles are previewed: Woodstock Planet, a quirky adventure game, and Tenkafubu, a Japanese historical simulation game. These diverse titles hint at the varied software library planned for the system. The page confirms the Mega CD is scheduled for release in early December, priced at 49,800 yen provisionally, promising a wave of new Cridrom software titles are set to appear one after another. It's clear Sega was building immense hype for this powerful new chapter in the Mega Drive's life. This page prominently features the game Ernest Evans for the Sega Mega CD. It declares it the definitive version of the title, utilizing the Mega CD's large capacity to deliver a non-stop hard action game featuring multi-rotation sprites for super realistic action scenes. The page includes artwork of the protagonist and screenshots of gameplay, highlighting the dynamic visuals. It confirms the game's release in early December, launching simultaneously with the Mega CD hardware. The page also lists the visual staff, including animation production by Madhouse, and a notable voice cast featuring actors recognized for their roles in major anime series like Mobile Suit Gundam ZZ, Yawara, and Dragon Ball Z. The music composer is also credited. This presentation positions Ernest Evans as a key game showcasing the capabilities of the new Mega CD platform. This page presents a dramatic preview for Fei Area, an RPG arriving on the Mega CD. Against a backdrop of lightning striking over a city at night, bold text declares, "Shocking," or "A shock runs through." The game is described as a dramatic and fantastic RPG debut for the platform, featuring sudden world-changing events where the land splits and a giant island appears. It promises powerful battle scenes with dynamically scaling monsters. Small screenshots provide glimpses of dungeon crawling, overworld exploration, and the combat interface. Developed by Wolf Team, Fei Area was scheduled for release in mid-December, joining the lineup of early Mega CD titles. This page features a comical spin on the classic action series, with an advertisement for Valis SD. Known for its more serious fantasy action, this entry takes a completely different approach, transforming the characters and world into a super-deformed, humorous action game. The main headline declares that Valis becomes a big laugh action game. The text highlights the game's focus on fun and laughter, promising to blow away worries. Players will see familiar characters like Yuko and Raiko transform into cute warriors to take on bizarre boss characters in this light-hearted take on the Valis universe. The page showcases chibi artwork of Yuko and Raiko alongside several comical-looking bosses, emphasizing the game's shift in tone from the main series. This page is a significant announcement from Vantan Computer Information Academy, highlighting their new curriculum designed to cultivate creators for the coming 21st century computer society. Main headline proclaims this expansion. Previously part of the Bantan Design Institute, the Computer Creation Department has become independent and is launching enhanced courses for the 92 academic year. The school emphasizes the role of the computer as another brain for humanity, evolving from a massive machine to something compact and convenient. Recognizing the need for individuals who can freely manipulate this technology, particularly in creative fields, they are offering several new specialized courses. These include Game Software Creator, Multimedia Creator, CG/VR Creator, Sound Creator, amusement robot and toy creator, information communication systems, systems engineering, and audio-visual coordinator. The information section details upcoming events, like a game software creator trial seminar and a general information session, along with contact details for inquiries and requesting materials. This page clearly targets readers interested in pursuing careers in the burgeoning fields of digital creation and technology. This page features the groundbreaking RPG Lunar, the silver star for the Sega CD. Prominently displayed is vibrant artwork showcasing the game's main cast, including the protagonist Alex, the sorceress Luna, and other key companions like Ramus, Nash, Mia, Kyle, Jessica, and Galeon, set against a backdrop featuring the menacing Dragon Master Dine, or perhaps Zophar. Below the striking title logo, the page includes two small screenshots, one depicting a town or overworld area, and the other showing the turn-based battle system with sprite-based characters. The accompanying text highlights the game's key features, emphasizing the MegaCAD's large capacity, enabling impressive animation sequences, and positioning Lunar as a new-generation RPG. The image also includes a clear shot of the Sega CD console itself, a necessary piece of hardware to play this highly anticipated title. Logos for Mega Drive and Mega CD are present, along with copyright information crediting GameArts and Studio Alex. This page features the historical simulation game Tenchi Suzu How Den for the Sega Mega CD, developed by GameArts. The large illustration prominently displays key historical figures from Japan's Sengoku period, suggesting the game's focus on feudal lords and conflict. The accompanying text highlights the game's unique approach, emphasizing human drama, achieved by introducing the human factor and meticulously recreating the personalities of the characters involved. Screenshots show tactical battle scenes between historical commanders like Date Masamune and Murakami Kagefusa, as well as a strategic map view for managing territories and armies. The presence of the Sega Mega CD console indicates this title was exclusive to the platform. This page showcases two exciting titles for the Sega Mega Drive. At the top is Fighting Masters, a one-on-one fighting game featuring a roster of 12 unique characters. The text highlights the diverse fighting styles, varied techniques, and the ability to use the environment, such as walls and obstacles, in combat. It promises ultimate action leading up to a giant final boss, and confirms a two-player versus mode. Screenshots show dynamic combat moments. Below, the page features Task Force Harrier X, a port of the popular arcade shooter. This version specifically for the Mega Drive includes additional original stages not found in the arcade release, offering a different and exciting experience. Screenshots display the intense vertical scrolling shoot-'em-up gameplay. Both games were scheduled for a December release in 1991 by Treco. This page features the dramatic key art for two titles from Treco. In the upper portion, we see the diverse cast of fighting masters, showcasing the game's promise of intense one-on-one combat, with its array of unique characters and monstrous fighters clashing. Below, the action shifts to the skies with Task Force Harrier X, depicted by powerful jets flying over a massive explosion, highlighting the game's explosive shoot-'em-up gameplay. Prominently displayed across the middle is the text 200%, suggesting an incredibly high level of excitement or power for these releases. At the bottom, the publisher, Treco, is clearly identified with their contact information. This page serves as a striking visual advertisement for both games. This page presents compelling artwork for the RPG Maya, released in Japan as Majin Ayuden Wataru Gaiden, Majin Daikessen, from NCS. The striking visual features a fiery volcano against a vast, deep blue sky, evoking a sense of both danger and wonder. The Mega Drive logo is prominently displayed in the corner. Vertical text on the right declares, "The world is now waiting for unknown adventures," setting the tone for an epic journey. Below the artwork, a narrative provides context, recounting a tale of an ancient king who safeguarded peace and encouraged adventurers. Now, however, powerful monsters have arisen, growing stronger and overwhelming adventurers, spreading throughout the kingdom and threatening daily life. This text clearly establishes the classic fantasy RPG premise: a world in peril, a call to adventure, and a daunting threat to overcome. The page concludes with the developer/publisher information for NCS, the team behind this adventure. This page features a promotional image for the fantasy RPG Sorcerer Kingdom, developed by NCS. The artwork depicts a dramatic landscape of deep blue mountains under a similarly colored sky. Prominently displayed on a weathered scroll graphic is the game's English title, Sorcerer Kingdom. Below this, the title is also written in Japanese as, the page confirms it is a fantasy RPG and provides details about its upcoming release. It states the game is scheduled for release in the winter, with a provisional price of 8,800 yen, excluding tax, and features an 8 megabit room cartridge with battery backup for saving game progress. This continues the focus on NCS titles, following the presentation of Maya on the previous page, highlighting the company's upcoming RPG offerings for the platform. The page also includes a copyright notice from NCS Corp. Dated 1991. This page showcases the upcoming horizontal scrolling shooting game, Steel Empire. The artwork features a striking steampunk aesthetic, depicting a massive flying fortress and intricate mechanical designs, giving a strong sense of a fantasy sci-fi world. Prominently displayed is the game's title in Japanese and English, along with an excitement level 100% rating. The large red text highlights the player's aircraft, the Eto Rupirika, and hints at a narrative theme of love and peace. The accompanying text provides a brief synopsis, setting the scene in a future where advanced science is threatened by the invasion of Mad Commander X, and the player must fly the high-speed fighter Eto Rupirika to combat this threat. A yellow banner indicates the game is scheduled for release in December 1991, with the price yet to be determined. The overall presentation emphasizes the unique visual style and action-packed nature of this highly anticipated shooter. This page announces that the popular OVA series, Detonator Orgun, is getting a game adaptation for the Sega Mega CD. Presented as breaking news, it highlights that this will be an adventure game, AVG, featuring full animation, an original story, and original characters in addition to those from the anime. The artwork prominently features the main characters and the powerful Orgun mecha, illustrated by Michitaka Kikuchi, the OVA's character designer. The large title, Detonator Orgun, is displayed, emphasizing the impending battle between Orgun and the Bioroiders for the fate of Earth. The announcement promises the birth of the strongest hero in history on the Mega CD. This page is an advert for Super Fantasy Zone by Sunsoft on the Sega Mega Drive, exclusively released in December. Opa Opa returns! This page showcases the upcoming RPG, Tolamak, known in Japan as Port of Tolasia, from Riot, a division of Nihon Telenet. The striking illustration depicts a group of travelers overlooking a snow-covered city, setting a clear mood for a romance and adventure RPG story. It highlights the game's atmosphere and world, with character and story credits given to Mahiro Maeda and Neko respectively. The page confirms its scheduled release for December. This page promotes the upcoming Mega CD title, Nostalgia 1907, part of the Surde Mystery series. The artwork dominates the page, featuring a mysterious man in a hat and glasses at the top, and a detailed scene within a porthole below, showing a woman and a ship. The text emphasizes that the game aims for realism through magnificent sound, visuals, and skillful dialogue scenes, enhanced by the power of the new Mega CD system and live voices from top-class voice actors. It highlights the rich emotional expression of characters and detailed scene depictions, inviting the player to become an actor in this dramatic mystery. The Mega CD version is scheduled for release within the year, with the price yet to be decided. It is also noted that the game is highly praised and currently on sale for the PC 9801 series and X68000 platforms, bundled with an original soundtrack, CD. This page features the upcoming release of YS2 Eyes, Wanderers from YS for the Mega Drive, scheduled for October 11. A large, embossed YS logo dominates the center, framed by Ivy. Below the title, 3 screenshots showcase different environments from the game, including a mountain path, a bridge crossing, and an indoor area. The text highlights that this classic RPG is finally making its debut on the Mega Drive. It also mentions a new brand campaign and features the Falcom and Mega Drive logos, confirming the official license and platform. The copyright indicates it's from Telenet Japan, 1991. This port brings a popular and well-regarded action RPG series to the Sega console. This page showcases Galaxy Force 2 for the Mega Drive, announced as now on sale for 8,400 yen, excluding tax. This impressive arcade port features an 8 megabit room, a significant size at the time, contributing to a faithful recreation of the original's intense scaling 3D graphics. A notable point is its compatibility with the dedicated analog joystick, the XE1AP, enhancing the control experience. The page features several screenshots depicting various stages, highlighting the diverse environments players will encounter, including battles around artificial and volcanic planets, as well as navigating through hyperspace. This version was reprogrammed by Kring and released in 1991, bringing one of Sega's most visually striking arcade experiences to home consoles. This page introduces the game Beast Warriors for the Mega Drive, developed by Telenet Japan and scheduled for release in mid-November. The striking cover art, modeled by Yasushi Nirasawa, depicts a grotesque monster holding a smaller, vanquished foe, setting a dark and intense tone. Screenshots reveal isometric gameplay, featuring tactical battles on grid-based maps, with character portraits showing stats like PP, SP, and LP. The narrative described touches upon advanced biotechnology, a virus that creates giant artificial creatures called dragons, and a new fighting sport involving these monstrous beings in the year 2015. This title was part of Telenet's Riot brand campaign. This page dives deeper into Beast Warriors for the Mega Drive, a unique one-on-one fighting game from Riot/Telenet Japan, where players control massive monstrous creatures called beasts. It's described as similar to wrestling, featuring brutal battles. The game's elaborate backstory involves a genius geneticist creating a virus in 2007 that allows for significant genetic manipulation, leading to the emergence of giant artificial beings, referred to as dragons, by 2015. These creatures then become the focus of a violent new fighting sport, managed by an organization called DWC. Gameplay features 15-minute matches, where victory is achieved by depleting the opponent's life points, LP, or landing 3 finishing moves for a TKO. The page highlights the anything-goes nature of the fights. There are 2 main modes: a standard match mode for battling the computer or a friend, and a tournament mode where players compete against WC's top fighters to become the world champion. The bottom section introduces some of the diverse roster of beasts, listing characters like Daikun, Federico, Airhole, Ouroboros, Arrow, October, Makara, Proglaze, Hax 004, and Ominous T2, along with their world or Japanese ranking, and various stats like PP, LP, SP, height, and weight. The detailed characters and complex sci-fi narrative set this fighting game apart. This page introduces the game Beast Warriors, detailing its sci-fi story, brutal fighting gameplay, modes, and showcasing some of the game's unique monster characters with their stats. This page features the action RPG Exile, developed by Telenet Japan's Riot brand for the Mega Drive. The vibrant artwork showcases the game's protagonist, Sadler, alongside 2 companions, Rumi and Doug, set against a backdrop of floating ancient ruins, hinting at the game's blend of fantasy and historical themes. Pixelated screenshots demonstrate the side-scrolling action gameplay, featuring combat, exploration, and dialogue sequences with character portraits. The text sets the stage in the Middle Ages, a time of chaos and power struggles, and introduces the core conflict. Sadler, the young leader of a dissenting Islamic faction, receives a secret document from the Templar Knight leader, Doug. The narrative involves protecting holy sites and the assassins, propelling Sadler's into a maelstrom of battle. Positioned as an 8 cartridge ARPG, Exile was scheduled for release in late November 1991 in Japan, under the new brand campaign banner, linking it to titles like Beast Warriors from the same publisher. This page dives into the core of Beast Warriors, focusing on the single-player tournament mode, where you aim to conquer the Dino World Championship. As a new beast tamer, you'll raise your chosen creature, battling through tryouts to earn a Japanese ranking, starting at 6th if you succeed. The ultimate goal is to reach the top spot in Japan before challenging the world. The mode incorporates RPG elements, allowing you to shop for crucial items like the Synthesis Facility Pass and train your beast's parameters. A key feature is the ability to synthesize defeated beasts' Drina with your own, creating more powerful fighters. Screenshots showcase the character naming and special move selection, the intense versus screens during tests and ranking matches, the shop interface, the synthesis process, and even a dedicated training scene. This section effectively conveys the game's progression system and the journey from novice tamer to potential world champion, highlighting the strategic depth in raising and customizing your beast for battle. Like Exile from the previous page, Beast Warriors is part of the same publisher's new game initiative. This page showcases the Sega Mega Drive action game, Valis, featuring the series protagonist, Yuko Asou. Scheduled for a December release, the page highlights Yuko, an ordinary 17-year-old high school student, and hints at the sudden change in her peaceful life and the fate that awaits her, urging the reader to recall that pivotal moment. The main visual is a beautiful illustration of Yuko in her school uniform against a serene, watercolor-painted background of foliage. Additionally, the page promotes a campaign by publisher Nihon Telenet for their new Riot brand, offering original telephone cards to customers who purchased their qualifying games by March 1992. This page presents the table of contents for this issue, highlighting key features and articles. Prominently featured sections include New Scramble, which previews recent releases like Golden Axe 2, Ernest Evans, and games featuring Donald Duck and F1 racing. The Beep Mega Hot menu focuses on highly anticipated titles, such as Shining Force, Devil's Crush, and Sorcerer's Kingdom. A special feature explores the topic of game porting on the Mega Drive. Additionally, the magazine introduces the new Mega CD hardware and its upcoming titles like Lunar, The Silver Star, and Dark Wizard. The issue also includes a special appendix with a focus on autumn's new game releases, featuring prominent titles such as Wonder Boy and Monster World, Super Fantasy Zone, YS2I, Wanderers from YS, Rolling Thunder 2, and Shadow Dancer. The page is decorated with small screenshots showing gameplay from different genres, including a fantasy RPG and a platformer. This page analyzes the sales data for Mega Drive and Game Gear software. The Mega Drive chart shows a rush of new releases dominating the top spots, which the magazine attributes to improving software quality. Sonic the Hedgehog remains at number 1, praised as a classic must-buy. Outrun takes the second spot, hailed as the definitive version across all consoles. Populous makes a strong debut at third, a welcome port from the Genesis version previously unavailable on the Japanese Mega Drive. Streets of Rage is surprisingly low at fourth, with the reviewer noting its popularity and an incorrect comparison to Final Fight. Warsong re-enters the charts after a re-release, while Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse continues its strong performance nearly a year after launch. The Game Gear section notes a lack of recent new releases, leading to older titles holding strong positions. Eternal Legend is highlighted as the system's first true RPG, though potentially slow-paced. Classic Sega titles like Outrun and Fantasy Zone Gear also feature in the top 5. The shooting game Griffon is mentioned for its interesting production despite standard gameplay, with a note comparing it to the Mega Drive version. Overall, the Game Gear chart shows steady sellers while awaiting more major new titles. This page delves into what Mega Drive users are asking for and what's currently popular in stores. The main section presents the User Data Top 20, a list based on reader surveys showing which games users most want to see ported to the Mega Drive. Topping the list are highly sought-after titles like Street Fighter II, Cotton, and SimCity. The magazine highlights the significant news that Street Fighter II is indeed coming to the Mega Drive, suggesting this will dramatically shift the industry landscape. Accompanying this section are small screenshots related to anticipated ports, including strategy games like Nobunaga's Ambition and a sports title resembling Nintendo World Cup. Below, the Shop Data Top 5 reveals the best-selling video games based on actual store data. Here, Street Fighter II also takes the number 1 spot, proving its immense popularity. The list continues, with Namco's space shooter Starblade, Sega's clutch hitter, D-Ropler, which appears to be a beat-em-up from Sega, and Cross-Sword by Alpha Denshi. Screenshots of Starblade and D-Ropler are shown, showcasing their visual styles. The commentary notes the popularity of these recent releases and discusses the context of Street Fighter II's release plans. This page reveals the results of the User Data Top 20 survey, focusing on anticipated new games, contrasting with the previous page's look at ports and bestsellers. The top spot goes to Warsong, part of the Langrisser series, a tactical RPG highly awaited despite a slight delay. In second place is Golden Axe 2, a sequel promising enhanced magic and character moves, particularly noting Gilius's improved spinning attack. YS2I, Wanderers from YS takes third, lauded as the definitive port of the action RPG. Ranking fourth is Lunar, highlighted as a dramatic RPG experience coming to the Mega CD, featuring familiar characters and realistic battles. Rounding out the top 5 is Wonder Boy in Monster World, the latest entry in the popular action-adventure series, seen as a culmination of its multi-platform history. The list continues down to number 20, showcasing a diverse range of upcoming titles, including strategy games like a Nobunaga's Ambition-related title and Sim Earth, action games such as Elysia Dragoon and Spider-Man, fighting games like Fire Pro Wrestling, and racing titles. There's also a note catching up on pre-release buzz, mentioning that while Mega CD games like Lunar are generating excitement, cartridge titles still dominate the top spots, with big names like Shining Force expected later. Overall summary. This page presents user-ranked anticipated new games, with Tactical RPG Warsong, Golden Axe 2, and YS2I, leading a diverse list alongside Lunar and Wonder Boy in Monster World. This page features upcoming software schedules for both the Mega Drive and Game Gear platforms, listing release dates, prices, and developer details for many anticipated titles. The editors weigh in on the current state of the Mega Drive market, observing that the launch of the Mega CD is creating a buzz, with various companies contributing to the excitement. They touch upon the previously rumored Street Fighter II port for the Mega Drive, suggesting it's likely off the table now that the Super Famicom version is confirmed. Overall, they express optimism that the Mega CD's release will spur greater activity and releases from developers. This message board highlights upcoming game releases across Mega Drive and Game Gear. Sega is releasing several Mega Drive games in October, including anticipated titles like Wonder Boy in Monster World, with Ninja Gaiden and Axe Battler coming to Game Gear in November. Technosoft promotes their pinball game, Devil's Crush, while Riot Japan Telenet brings YS2I, Wanderers from YS, and a wrestling game to Mega Drive. Taito teases autumn releases after Naystar wins a reader poll. Home Data, Namco, Kaneko, and Wolf Team also share updates on their games, including Wani Wani World, formerly Berlin no Keibe, on Mega Drive and Game Gear. And Wolf Team is excited about Mega CD titles. IGS, Victor Musical Industries, Shieldwave, Koei, and Micronet also have announcements, with a focus on Mega Drive and Mega CD releases. The overall tone of the board is positive, with developers anticipating the launch of their games. This page features the BeepMD Race, a section dedicated to reviewing new Mega Drive games. It presents reviews for two upcoming titles, Devil's Crush and YS2I, Wanderers from YS, using a unique scoring system where reviewers are represented by dogs lined up in gates, indicating their average score. First up is Technosoft's pinball title, Devil's Crush, a port from the PC Engine. The reviewers are very impressed, particularly with the game's atmospheric graphics and smooth pinball action. They note that the difficulty has been well adjusted for the Mega Drive, resulting in a highly recommended game that scored an impressive 8.0 average in the race. Next is YS2I, Wanderers from YS, from Riot Japan Telenet. This action RPG, already seen on multiple platforms, finally arrives on the Mega Drive, following the adventurer Adol Kristen. Reviewers compare it favorably to the X68000 version, finding the graphics and BGM quality to be superior to the PC Engine port. While the opening demo is noted as being a bit long, the port is considered well executed and user-friendly for newcomers to the YS series, achieving an average score of 6.75. Some reviewers felt it could have done more to differentiate itself from other versions. The page also briefly introduces the reviewers with their short, personal comments, adding character to the segment. The scoring system is explained as a 10-step evaluation based on the average position of the reviewer's dogs in the race gates. The BeepMD Race feature continues, with reviews of 4 Mega Drive titles. Mao Renjishi, Taito, received a 7.25, praised for its humor, unique weapons, and flamboyant special moves. Wonder Boy 2-1, Monster Lair, Sega, earned an 8.0, lauded for its polish and user-friendliness, despite slow movement. Beast Warriors, Riot Japan Telenet, scored a disappointing 4.75, criticized for bland combat and sluggish monster movement. Dragon's Eye plus Shanghai 2i, Home Data, received a 6.25. While the classic Shanghai was enjoyed, the new Dragon's Eye mode had readability issues. Each review includes individual reviewer comments. This page continues the BeepMD Race feature, reviewing 2 more Mega Drive games. First up is Shogi no Hoshi, a Japanese chess title from Home Data, scoring 6.0. It includes both a proper shogi mode and a comical adventure mode, with reviewers finding the adventure mode interesting in concept, but perhaps lacking impact. Next is Blockout by Sega, a 3D block puzzle similar to Tetris, earning a 6.5. Reviewers found it addictive once accustomed to the 3D perspective, but noted the controls for manipulation could be tricky. The page also includes a general review of the month's MegaDrive software. The reviewer notes that while there isn't one must-buy title for everyone, there are several good options. Recommendations include Devil's Crush, Wonder Boy and Monster World, and potentially Mao Renjishi. SWAT. City Under Siege is also mentioned as a strong contender. The reviewer emphasizes that focusing on releasing high-quality individual titles is crucial for publishers. Technosoft's games, like Devil's Crush, are highlighted as consistently reliable. The month's standout recommendations are Devil's Crush, Wonder Boy and Monster World, and Mao Renjishi. The reviewer is looking forward to Mega CD releases next month. This page continues the BeepMD race, reviewing 3 games. First is the Mega Drive port of Ninja Gaiden, based on the popular arcade and Famicom titles. Reviewers found it decent but noted it lacked some of the original's pacing and polish, especially compared to the Famicom version, giving it an average of 5.5. Next is the Game Gear's Axe Battler, Golden Axe Legend, an action RPG featuring the Axe Battler character. It was seen as a solid concept for the platform, earning an average of 5.25, though some elements felt underdeveloped. Finally, Namco's Galaga 91 for Game Gear is reviewed. This shooter, a sequel to Galaga 88, features classic gameplay, but was noted for issues with motion blur on the LCD screen, receiving an average score of 6.0. The BeepMD editorial wrap-up confirms that while no single game dominated the month, titles like Devil's Crush, Wonder Boy 2-1, The Dragon's Trap, and Mao Renjishi stood out. The general Game Gear software review notes a quiet month, highlighting Galaga 91 as a good title, but expressing disappointment in the overall lineup compared to the stronger Mega Drive releases. The BeepMD Reader Race Volume 8 ranks Sega Mega Drive games based on reader scores. Sonic the Hedgehog tops the charts with a 9.1515 average. The top 10 includes diverse genres like strategy, Advanced Daisenryaku, Langrisser, and action. Streets of Rage, Thunder Force 2-1, along with classics like Outrun and Castle of Illusion. Outrun, the favorite horse, earns an 8.545, praised for its arcade fidelity and 2-player mode. Streets of Rage, Bare Knuckle, the contending horse at number 7, scores an 8.2482, lauded for its co-op and character variety, despite minor criticisms. Outside the spotlight, Telephone Stadium Baseball receives a 6.3165, while SWAT Action scores a 5.8951, earning praise for its music and final boss despite difficulty constraints. The next page continues the BeepMD Reader Race results, highlighting games that were either highly anticipated but didn't fully deliver, single-hole horses, or promising new entries, new horses. Populous, ranked 36th with a 7.4666 reader score, is noted for its unique concept but lacking gameplay depth. Blue Almanac, at 62nd with 6.647, is suggested for RPG newcomers due to its easy start, though its overall appeal is questioned after playing better titles. Gain Ground, 38th with 7.4478, is criticized for arcade differences and lack of characters, though the hard mode and original rules are appreciated. Forgotten Worlds, 76th with 6.3111, is seen as a decent arcade port, praised for its BGM and backgrounds, but the demo dialogue is a minor detraction. Among the new horses, Skyfang, Khufu, 23rd with 7.8, receives positive notes for its transfer quality and voice synthesis, despite missing some arcade elements. Street Smart, 98th with 5.6666, looks good, but is found lacking in actual gameplay, with small characters and few effective moves. The page also features the ongoing reader ranking chart, listing games from 37th place downwards, reflecting readers' average scores. This page continues the BeepMD Reader Race, displaying the rankings from 84th place downwards. Featured here are some interesting, albeit lower-ranked, titles. The single-hole horse spotlight falls on Battle Golfer Yui, a golf game with an average reader score of 6.33, noted for its strange mix of parody and serious story, which gives it a cult appeal. On the less fortunate side, the Autofluck horse is Karts, ranking 126th with a mere 3.88 average, criticized as a messy, jerky-scrolling shooter with poor visuals and overwhelming difficulty. Two new unpopular horses are introduced. Wardner no Mori Special, ranked 66th, 6.57 average. A faithful arcade port of the action game, but deemed challenging and somewhat dated. And Velitex, ranked 84th, 6.07 average. A space shooter found to be monotonous with frustrating design choices like being sent back upon death and an overpowered final boss. The page also promotes reader participation through contests to predict game rankings and average scores, with prizes like the unique James Pond and another game of their choice. The editorial staff notes Sonic's continued dominance and the slight dip for Streets of Rage, looking forward to featuring Galaxy Force 2 next. Finally, the magazine announces the next Extra Race Challenge will be outrun. This page brings us the BeepMD News and Information section, leading with the big story, the release of the PC Engine Duo on September 21st. This integrated Kydrom unit from NEC Home Electronics hit the market at 59,800 yen, slightly pricier than the upcoming 49,800 yen Mega CD, and the article questions the impact on Sega's console, noting the PC Engine software library as a strength. Across the Pacific, the report on the American market highlights the Super NES launch on September 1st. Despite being a massive hit in Japan the previous year, the American release is described as sluggish, primarily due to a perceived lack of software. The console launched at $200, bundled with Super Mario World, which, while popular in Japan, seems to be less dominant in the US compared to Sonic the Hedgehog on the Genesis, which is reported to be selling well and leading to stronger sales for Sega's console in America. Zero is noted as having low popularity there. Finally, we get a look at the Autumn CSG new title announcement event, held in Osaka and Tokyo. Although there were general concerns about the upcoming software lineup, the event demonstrated that Mega CD software was indeed running, with developers like Sega, GameArts, and Childware showcasing their work, giving users a promising glimpse into the future library. This page features the Sega report from the Autumn CSG new title announcement event. A major highlight was the Mega CD title, 3x3 Eyes. While the initial demo video caused some disappointment, the version showcased at the event appears to be a significant improvement, generating excitement for this upcoming adventure game. Attendees also got hands-on time with room cartridge releases like the puzzle game Blockout and the acclaimed action RPG Wonder Boy in Monster World. Game Gear titles were also present, with playable demos of the Golden Axe spin-off Axe Battler and Aerial. Screenshots of Wonder Boy in Monster World, Axe Battler, and Aerial are shown, giving a glimpse of the gameplay. The Sega booth was bustling, with users seemingly enjoying the playable demos. Elsewhere on the page, Technosoft announced Atuko as the winner of their CM Girl audition, joining the Gals Club. There's also information about a Terra event focusing on IBM software and CG, which potentially included demonstrations of Mega CD software. This page continues the report on the Autumn CSG event, focusing on third-party presence. Demos for upcoming Mega CD titles like Nostalgia 1907 and Lunar the Silver Star were shown, though Nostalgia was running on PC hardware for the demo. GameArts showcased their Mega CD hardware and provided glimpses of titles like Tenkafubu and LR, highlighting the system's visual capabilities. Hot B also presented a video for the intriguing detonator organ. Beyond the CD titles, popular cartridge releases featured included Wolf Team's El Viento and GameArts' action-packed Alicia Dragoon. The page also features upcoming music releases, most notably the original CD soundtrack for Streets of Rage, Bare Knuckle, featuring the renowned Yuzo Koshiro. There's also a Laserdisc drama based on the YS series, and the soundtrack for Dragon Knight 2. In other news, Konami is entering the card game market with two titles, a ski game and a hotel occupation game. An events section highlights opportunities to see more Mega CD demonstrations at upcoming shows, and details an SNK sports game tournament featuring Neo Geo titles like Super Bowling and King of the Monsters. This page is part of the New Release Scramble section, previewing various upcoming games for the system. While it lists titles like Golden Axe 2, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2, Exiles, and others, The main focus is on World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. This game, known here as I Love Donald Duck, is highlighted as the highly anticipated second Disney character action game from the talented staff behind Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. According to the preview, Donald Duck takes center stage in this adventure after finding a mysterious treasure map. The article praises the game's visually dynamic stages, which shift from bustling cities to sandy deserts and ancient ruins, giving the feeling of a global journey. Gameplay involves getting help from friends like Goofy, and using a unique suction cup weapon to temporarily stun enemies, a non-violent approach fitting for the character. The preview emphasizes how well the game captures the spirit and animation quality of Disney cartoons, even detailing humorous moments like Donald running at super speed after eating a hot pepper. The story setup involving Scrooge McDuck's library, the treasure map, and the Beagle Boys is also touched upon. The screenshots show off the varied environments and the game's charming visual style. The tone is clearly excited about this sequel, especially for fans of Castle of Illusion. This page, part of the new release scramble, previews 2 more upcoming titles. First up is Golden Axe 2, the highly anticipated sequel to the classic Mega Drive brawler. While the core gameplay remains familiar with the original trio of Axe, Tyrese, and Gilius, new moves have been added, like Gilius's enhanced back attack. The game features returning enemy types alongside new and impressive boss characters, though only the first stage boss is shown here. Character magic effects, such as Tyruse's powerful fire spells and Gilius's lightning attacks, appear more dynamic, and the overall graphics seem improved, promising an exciting return to the world of Death Adder. Below, we see Taiheki, a historical simulation game based on the popular NHK drama. This title delves into the conflict of the late Kamakura period, focusing on 2 key figures, Ashikaga Takauji and Kusunoki Masashige. Players choose one character's perspective to experience the story through 2 distinct scenarios. The game system is described as an evolution of Sega's Romance of the Three Kingdoms series, featuring strategic battles and character management, all presented with graphics and sound, aiming to capture the grandeur of a historical drama. Screenshots display character portraits, strategic map views, and tactical battle sequences. This preview showcases 4 upcoming Mega Drive titles. Nakajima Satoru Fan1 Grand Prix is a customizable Fan1 racing game with a top-down perspective. F1 Circus MD, a port from the PC Engine, offers a racing experience with a mini-map for enhanced gameplay. Daphna is an action game with RPG-like undertones, featuring intense platforming, combat, and companion characters. Finally, Tecmo World Cup is a soccer game emphasizing smooth animations and head-to-head competition. The next page presents previews for 4 more upcoming titles. First up is Steel Empire, a side-scrolling shooter with graphics described as having a medieval feel and reminding the reviewer of Miyazaki anime. A notable feature is an RPG-like leveling system for your character. Following that is Exile, an action RPG port, highlighted for its mysterious atmosphere and impressive battle scenes, leveraging the power of the Mega Drive after its PC Engine Creedrom 2 release. Below that is Wani Wani World, a puzzle game from Kaneko, where players control a crocodile using a hammer to dig holes and trap enemies across multiple worlds. Finally, there's Train Salasia, an RPG featuring a journey with the heroine swordswoman, Banaji, noted for its beautiful visuals depicting thoughts of the titular location and a different atmosphere compared to standard RPGs. This page features previews for 4 upcoming titles. First up is Nobunaga's Ambition, Bushu Funroku, the latest in the strategic simulation series by Koei, coming to the Mega Drive. It emphasizes culture and technology with elements like cannons and ironclad ships. Next is Fighting Masters from Treco, a pure fighting game where you fight opponents until their vitality runs out, featuring 12 unique characters and drawing comparisons to Street Fighter II for its varied combatants. Below that is Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2, another historical simulation from Koei, confirmed to be a port based on the Super Famicom version. Finally, there is Maten no Sumetsu, an RPG from Kodansha Research Institute, where a party of characters, including a wolf companion and a small dragon, undertake an adventure with battles featuring unique character actions. This page features the Beeple Land Letters section, focusing this month on the topic of ported games on the Mega Drive. Readers share their opinions and concerns regarding the quality of recent ports. While some feel that the standard of ports has improved, citing examples like Outrun, shown in the screenshot, Others express disappointment, particularly with direct ports from the latest arcade titles, feeling they lose too much in translations. Several readers suggest classic games that they hope will be ported, such as Space Harrier from Sega's own library, as well as titles like Afterburner 2, Darius 2i, Undead Line, Prince of Persia, Emeraldia, and Aresha de Aiku. Take the train. The discussion also touches upon the technical limitations, noting that the Mega CD doesn't necessarily offer significant graphical improvements over the base Mega Drive. For ports like these, there's a call for users to better understand hardware differences and for developers to focus on preserving the core gameplay experience rather than just graphical fidelity. The summary concludes that retaining the fun of the original game is paramount for a good port, acknowledging the constant evolution of arcade and PC hardware compared to static home consoles. The theme for the next issue is announced as the Game Gear, encouraging readers to share their thoughts on the handheld console. This page features the BeepMD Letters section, where readers share their thoughts on various games. The discussion includes comments on titles like Advanced Strategy, with one reader finding its ending disappointing despite a good system, while another found its later stages challenging. Another reader compares a game unfavorably to a port of Final Fight, but praises Outrun, particularly the Mega Drive version, calling it amazing and close to the arcade original. Readers also express hopes for future ports, specifically requesting Space Harrier, a Game Gear title. Eternal Legend is discussed, with feedback on its slow start, engaging story progression, and battle system limitations. The page is filled with vibrant reader-submitted artwork depicting characters and logos from Sega and other developers' games, including illustrations for Dragon Saber, Super Fantasy Zone, Sonic the Hedgehog, Shining Force, SD Snatcher on Mega CD, and a collection of Sega characters, including those from Game Gear titles. These drawings showcase the fans' passion for the games discussed. This page continues the BeepMD Letters section, where Sega fans voice their opinions and suggestions directly to the gaming industry. Readers discuss the potential of the Mega Modem, suggesting a baseball game that uses it for real-time player data updates, praising the idea as a significant improvement over traditional yearly releases. Another reader proposes expanding the Mega Drive library with educational software covering subjects like history, math, English, and even animal encyclopedias. It is a strong sentiment for genre diversity, with one fan noting the prevalence of shooting games and hoping for more RPGs and simulations, mentioning upcoming ports like Thunder Force AC and Granada, while expressing desire for more Shining Force-style titles. Another reader questions Namco's marketing strategy, pointing out the absence of commercials for their Mega Drive games since Burning Force, and hoping for promotion of titles like Nadia and Marvel Land, feeling Namco isn't fully supporting the platform. Accompanying the letters are various pieces of reader artwork, featuring fan interpretations of characters from different genres, including Sonic the Hedgehog, hinting at the diverse interests of the Mega Drive community. A brief comment at the bottom touches upon modem features and game title naming. This page continues the BeepMD Fan Letters section, where readers share their thoughts and discoveries. One reader points out that the face in the opening sequence of Rent a Hero looks remarkably like the actor River Phoenix, even finding the original photo from a movie magazine. The editors confirm the strong resemblance, acknowledging Sega's tendency for clever references. Other readers make similar observations, comparing the character Kunoichi from The Revenge of Shinobi to a real-life model from a catalog, and suggesting the title screen art for the Sega CD game Dark Wizard is inspired by a well-known drawing found in school art textbooks. The editors agree on the similarities but gently scold the reader for tearing a page out of their textbook. Another letter shares a humorous anecdote about encountering Super Sonic in an English test, while a final note mentions a possible resemblance between a character in Thunder Force AC and someone, though the editors seem less convinced by this one. The section concludes by announcing the winner of the grand prize, awarded to the reader who spotted the Rent a Hero/River Phoenix connection. This page continues the BeepMD section, opening with a humorous 4-panel manga strip featuring M.D. Kun, representing the Mega Drive. The strip showcases interactions and observations related to the console, reflecting on its capabilities and perhaps some technical aspects like resolution or colors, hinting at comparisons with other platforms of the era. Below the manga, there's a brief apology rectifying an error from a previous issue, clarifying that a game mentioned on page 43 was simply Mickey Mouse, and not Mickey Mouse 2. The core of the page details the various submission corners for BeepMD, inviting readers to contribute their thoughts on games. Sections include sharing game opinions, addressing the game industry directly, discussing interesting findings or lookalikes in games, pin talk, asking questions about the Mega Drive or third parties, expressing frustrations, and submitting illustrations like the MD-kun manga. Finally, the page announces the winners of various prizes. Instead of listing every name, it shows that readers won prizes related to specific games like Outrun, Eternal Legend, Chukuryu Dino Land, Megatrax, Outline, Populous, Jewel Master, Konami Game Selector, Master of Monsters, awarding phone cards, Le Bleu Levant, and the History video games. These are lists of the players whose submissions were selected. This page features a report on the newly established SegaFal.com partnership, highlighting that it's more than just porting existing Falcom games. It includes an interview with Masayuki Kato, the president of Nihon Falcom, discussing the goal of combining Sega's system and power with Falcom's creative ideas to do things that were previously difficult. The page then immediately introduces Falcom's new action RPG, Brandish, which is described as an evolution of their past action RPGs, like Xanadu, Sorcerian, and YS, raising high expectations. The article praises the graphics, noting they look surprisingly good, especially the visual scenes, and highlights the interesting control scheme, which is entirely mouse-based for an action RPG. Brandish is called a culmination of Falcom's action RPGs. While the PC-98 version is set for an October 25th release, there's a clear anticipation for a Mega Drive port. Screenshots show the game's dungeon exploration, a magic user character, the main gameplay view featuring various traps, and an essential RPG shop interface. SegaFal.com, a new partnership, plans to go beyond simple game ports. Falcom president Masayuki Kato states they aim to build a creative team and develop original games based on staff ideas. They are actively recruiting for various roles and encourage passionate individuals to apply. The company is also soliciting fan input through an idea recruitment section. Fans can request ports of Falcom games to the Mega Drive per Candela, suggesting improvements, and submit original game ideas for a chance to win Falcom merchandise. The report includes a list of past Falcom titles across different platforms, and screenshots from Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes. Addresses are provided for applications and feedback. This page is the final installment of the Jam Ojizan's TV game market frontline column, focusing on Wolf Team as a key developer, leading the charge on the Mega CD. The article features an interview with Masahiro Akishino and Masaki Uno from Wolf Team's second development division, who specialize in bringing their PC development expertise to home consoles. They discuss the rising Mega Drive and Mega CD markets, confirming Wolf Team's shift from room cartridges to focusing on the Mega CD, hinting that players should look forward to anime content on the new platform. The interview highlights their latest and final room cartridge release, El Viento, noting its immense popularity among readers. They discuss the game's fast-paced action, character movement, and connection to the Granada team. The possibility of El Viento becoming a series is also mentioned, with discussions about the main character El Viento being female and the Ernest Evans character being male, contemplating the introduction of a third character. A section specifically spotlights El Viento, calling it the #1 most anticipated software by readers, reinforcing the excitement around its potential as a series. A screenshot shows gameplay of the title, depicting action on stairs with multiple enemies. This page continues the discussion, featuring an interview focusing on the Sega Mega CD from the perspective of Wolf Team developers. They highlight the advantages of the Mega CD platform, particularly the lower production costs of CD-ROMs compared to cartridges, which allows for more affordable game prices, potentially ranging from 6,000 to 8,000 yen. This price point is expected to broaden the user base and make games more accessible. The developers touch upon the ease of production cycle with CryDROM, but note some technical challenges, especially utilizing hardware features like rotation and scaling, though they anticipate showcasing these capabilities in upcoming titles like Ailroad. Featured Wolf Team Mega CD games include Ernest Evans, an action title connected to the character El Viento, Solfis, a shooting game ported from the X68000, Seirei Shinseki Failaria, an RPG incorporating anime cutscenes, and Ailroad, a unique 3D RPG for the platform. The article concludes by discussing the broader Mega CD software lineup, emphasizing a mix of genres like RPGs and shooters, and highlighting features beyond graphics, such as advanced audio capabilities. They express optimism that the Mega CD will stimulate the market, stressing the importance of developers valuing their users. This page presents a mail-order price list from the store Boku Mo Hop, featuring games and hardware for various popular platforms of the era. You can find prices for systems like the Super Famicom, Family Computer, Game Boy, Neo Geo, Game Gear, PC Engine Core Graphics 2, PC Engine CD-ROM Squared, and Mega Drive. The catalog lists a wide array of games across these systems, often showing both the original list price and the store's discounted mail-order price. Key titles are listed under each console category, ranging from popular Nintendo first-party games like Super Mario World and Dr. Mario to diverse third-party offerings. For instance, the Mega Drive section includes titles like SWAT, Gyarados, and Shadow Dancer, showcasing the console's strong action and shooter lineup, alongside RPGs and strategy games. The PC Engine CD-ROM Squared section features titles leveraging the CD format, like Legend of Valhallas and Red Alert, and includes a separate price for the Super CD-ROM Squared add-on. The page also provides brief instructions on how to order via telephone or postal transfer, along with contact information for the store. This serves as a direct sales pitch, highlighting discounted prices for a broad selection of games available through mail order. This page features an advertisement for Santa, a specialty store offering Sega consoles and games. It highlights special Santa prices for the Mega Drive and Game Gear consoles, alongside extensive lists of Mega Drive, Master System, and European Master System software. Upcoming releases like Double Dragon 2, Landstalker, and Wonder Boy and Monster World are featured with discounted prices and release dates. Various bargain sections showcase games at fixed low prices, appealing to budget-conscious gamers looking to expand their Sega library. The ad includes a whimsical image of Santa Claus arriving in a helicopter, suggesting a holiday promotion. This page features Kyo International and their range of arcade control boxes for home use. Built on years of experience since 1981, they highlight their latest model, the Combo AV. Designed for performance and build quality, the Combo AV boasts high-quality terminal output, making it ideal for recording gameplay with sharp visuals, and supports audio output for various PC, console, and board types. A unique feature, dubbed Columbus Egg, allows seamless handling of vertical screen games, adapting them for horizontal display without distortion. A crucial innovation for fans of classic arcade shmups and vertical platformers. The page also promotes a rental service, offering rare arcade circuit boards, including classics like The Adventure of Valkyrie, Ishtar, Libble Rabble, and Hopping Mappy. For those who enjoy building, a diskette version of the Combo AV is available at a discounted price, featuring all necessary parts and detailed instructions. Different models are listed with prices, offering options with SVideo/video, RGB, and RF support. This page explores the changing trends in game ports arriving on the Sega Mega Drive. Initially, the console was a powerhouse for bringing arcade experiences home, meticulously porting popular titles. However, the focus has recently diversified. While arcade ports are still present, the magazine notes a slowdown in ports of the very latest arcade hits. Instead, there's a significant increase in games being ported from personal computers, particularly from overseas, including substantial simulation and action titles. Ports from domestic Japanese players are also becoming more prominent, catering to the dedicated Mega Drive fanbase. Looking ahead to the Mega CD, the article speculates that its expanded capacity will open the door for large-scale RPGs and adventure games from overseas PCs to finally make their debut in Japanese translation. The accompanying screenshots hint at this diversity, showing examples from genres like RPG, strategy, action, and racing games, reflecting the varied sources of software now landing on the console. This page examines the changing focus of game ports on the Sega Mega Drive. It explains that while the console initially thrived on bringing arcade experiences home, featuring popular Sega arcade titles like Super Hangin', Afterburner, and Rad Rally, the trend is now shifting. The article posits that a lack of major new arcade hits is contributing to a decrease in recent arcade ports. Instead, the focus is increasingly turning towards ports from personal computers, particularly from overseas developers. A data graphic reveals that shooting games were the most common genre ported from arcades, followed by action and puzzle games.
An interview with a Sega R&D manager confirms this shift, citing hardware differences and the absence of recent arcade blockbusters as reasons why arcade ports are becoming less frequent. He highlights the growing importance of PC ports, especially from overseas, driven by user demand for new and innovative experiences. He also notes the Mega KD's capacity will facilitate porting larger PC titles, and mentions his work on games like Mercs.
This page continues the discussion on Mega Drive porting trends, focusing on the increasing number of titles coming from personal computers, particularly major simulation games. The article notes that genres like simulation, SLG, are well suited for PC hardware's processing capabilities, but often lacked visual flair compared to consoles. Now visually impressive PC games like Startleheiser and Granada from X68000, Shadow of the Beast, and Populous from Amiga, and Simerearth from Macintosh are finding their way to the Mega Drive. Data presented shows that among PC ports, simulation games are the most common genre, followed closely by RPGs. Looking at the overall porting landscape over the years, arcade ports were initially dominant, especially around 1990, but have seen a clear decline since 1991. Conversely, PC ports, while less frequent initially, have been steadily increasing since 1991. The reviewer suggests this indicates that PC games are being re-evaluated and seen as viable sources for console releases. This page continues the discussion on Mega Drive porting trends, noting a shift from domestic PC games towards an increase in titles originating from overseas PCs. It highlights the growing presence of major simulation games on the Mega Drive, a genre previously dominated by PC-98. The article discusses the advantages of PC ports like eliminating disk access delays, but acknowledges the challenge of adapting large PC games to the Mega Drive's capacity limits. Successful ports like Wolf Team's Granada from the X68000 are praised for maintaining quality, while the Great Strategy series is noted for its solid system design, aiding its transition. There's anticipation for popular PC titles like Princess Maker and the anime-based Silent Mobius, expected on Mega CD. The page features screenshots from games like Deathbringer, Granada, Star Cruiser, and a title related to Nobunaga's Ambition, alongside artwork likely tied to Silent Mobius or Princess Maker. Data reveals simulation is the most ported genre from PC to Mega Drive, followed by RPG and shooting titles.
This page delves into the evolving landscape of game ports on the Mega Drive, particularly focusing on titles originating from overseas PCs with the rise of the Mega CD. It notes that while initial ports often lean towards puzzle games like Zoom, Blockout, and Lemmings due to localization challenges, there's a growing shift towards simulation games. The article expresses anticipation for more adventure and RPG titles, genres currently less common on the platform, highlighting major PC titles like King's Quest V and Might and Magic. Screenshots on the page showcase King's Quest V, with its signature VGA graphics and a party management screen from Might and Magic, expected to be localized for release. In an interview, Mr. Miyagawa of Micromouse discusses that overseas games tend to be more adult-oriented. He sees potential for realistic simulation games, especially flight and combat simulators not typically found on Japanese PCs, to be ported to the Mega CD. He hopes for future ports to not just bring over successful overseas titles, but to also incorporate user feedback. A data table summarizes the status of overseas PT ports by genre, listing 4 puzzle titles, 3 action titles, 2 adventure titles, and 2 simulation titles. Key titles mentioned across these genres include Shadow of the Beast, Prince of Persia, Simerearth, Rise of the Dragon, Star Cruiser, and Populous. Additional screenshots feature gameplay from Shadow of the Beast, highlighting its multi-layered scrolling, and combat from Prince of Persia. This page continues the feature on overseas PC game ports coming to the Mega CD, highlighting 2 adventure titles that leverage the CD's larger capacity for detailed graphics. First up is Rise of the Dragon, a hard-boiled detective adventure set in futuristic Los Angeles. Originally a point-and-click game on PC, it's praised for its rich graphics utilizing numerous captured images and its freeform system, offering a depth that goes beyond simple command selection. The article notes that the Mega CD allows players to finally enjoy such substantial overseas adventure games, overcoming past issues with language and size. Screenshots show the game's varied environments and character portraits. Next, under an extra section, is Heart of China. This adventure game features a sprawling story starting in 1930s Hong Kong, involving the rescue of a kidnapped nurse and travel across Asia and Europe. Its main draw is the super realistic graphics, achieved through captured images, and the detailed movements on screen. Screenshots provide glimpses of indoor and outdoor scenes.
An interview with the president of Sierra Online Japan discusses the porting process. He describes the PC version of Rise of the Dragon as simple point-and-click. He notes the challenge of adapting the PC's 256-color graphics to the Mega CD's capabilities, but hopes the ports will be tailored to Japanese tastes. When asked about other desired ports, he mentions Sierra's own Space Quest IV and King's Quest V. This page continues the feature on overseas PC game ports heading to the Mega CD. First up is Prince of Persia, highlighted for its cute character movements. The article describes the plot. A young man's quest in ancient Persia to rescue the princess imprisoned by the vizier Jafar within 1 hour. Screenshots show the prince's famous acrobatic jumping and sword-fighting animations, emphasizing the action gameplay. Next is Wing Commander, hailed as a definitive spaceflight simulation. Developed by Origin, known for Ultima, this 3D space combat simulator is noted for being relatively accessible compared to other PC flight sims. It features animated sequences, 4 campaign modes, and detailed cockpit information. Screenshots showcase the cockpit views, character portraits of pilots, and in-game sequences. Finally, the page covers SimEarth, a simulation game by Maxis that expands upon SimCity. This environmental simulation allows players to control a planet's terrain, climate, atmosphere, greenery, and water, aiming to guide its evolution based on the Gaia theory. The IBM PC version offered multiple scenarios, including Mars and Venus. Screenshots show the Planet View interface, and the text mentions the PC version's window display and mouse support, noting the simulation's vast scale can be challenging but rewarding. Human survival is literally in your hands. This page features 2 upcoming Mega Drive titles from Taito, presented with advertising hooks aimed at the working gamer. First up is Mao Renjishi, an action game with a striking kabuki-inspired theme. The premise involves defeating a force called Dark Kabuki, with players embodying or being aided by legendary characters like the White and Red Lions. The imagery strongly suggests a unique take on the action genre, perhaps a beat-em-up or side-scroller, with characters reminiscent of traditional Japanese theater. Below that is Saint's Sword, known as Lunark in Japan. This is an action-adventure game, where the goal is to save beloved animals by mastering martial arts. The text emphasizes the satisfying feeling of unleashing punches and kicks to defeat villains, suggesting it's a great way to relieve stress. The artwork shows an adventurous hero in a jungle setting, battling alongside fierce lions and a gorilla, hinting at a wild and dynamic adventure. Both games are framed as perfect ways to unwind after a long day, with slogans playfully dismissing work stress in favor of gaming. These represent 2 distinct action experiences from Taito heading to the console. This page features a striking and atmospheric advertisement for the Sega Mega Drive, continuing the theme of gaming as an escape from the stresses of work life. The image shows a blurry figure in a suit, with another arm grabbing their shoulder from behind, dramatically illustrating the feeling of being pulled away from leisure by obligations. The accompanying text reinforces this, reading, "Even if I'm grabbed by the back of the neck by the boss, I'll game." And, "Boss, what is it? I want to drown in games." This powerful imagery and text highlight the allure of the Mega Drive as a means to intensely immerse oneself in gaming, escaping the demands of the daily grind. It's less about a specific game and more about the lifestyle and emotional release that the console provides. The Mega Drive logo is clearly visible, framing this message as a promotion for the platform itself. This page announces the start of an exciting reader participation time trial tournament for the Sega Mega Drive title, Super Monaco GP. Commemorating the Suzuka Grand Prix, the event challenges readers to achieve the fastest lap times on the Suzuka circuit track featured in the game. This authentic time trial, organized with the cooperation of Human, the game's developer, is a fulfillment of readers' wishes to test their skills officially. Notable figures like Human's #1 driver, Mr. Onozaki, and the Human Queen, Mina-chan, are featured, highlighting the developer's direct involvement. Even the BeepMD team is participating, pitting their driver Honda Veruno against the readers. The tournament offers fantastic prizes, including exclusive F1 merchandise, and even a Mega CD console for the ultimate champion. This is your chance to prove you're the fastest driver in the world. This page unveils the highly anticipated Sega Mega Drive title, Shining Force, The Legacy of the Gods. This groundbreaking game is highlighted as the platform's first 12-megabit RPG, developed by Sonic Software Planning, a team featuring key personnel from the beloved Shining in the Darkness. Breaking from traditional RPG molds, Shining Force introduces tactical, simulation-style gameplay, promising a deep and engaging experience that the magazine suggests will exceed players' expectations. The article expresses excitement about this new direction for the series and features screenshots showcasing the grid-based tactical battles and character stats. The page also includes an interview with the core development staff, providing insight into the minds behind this ambitious project, including the game designer, lead programmer, graphic artists, AI programmer, and scenario writer. Anticipation is high for its planned spring release. This page delves deeper into the upcoming tactical RPG, Shining Force, The Legacy of the Gods, providing insights directly from the development team and even the company president. Interviews with the main programmer, graphics lead, AI programmer, and scenario writer reveal the ambition behind the project, confirming it's set hundreds of years before Shining in the Darkness in the same world. Developers discuss the challenges, particularly the massive data volume, requiring significant compression, and the effort to enhance graphics, character animation, and scenario depth compared to the previous title. A screenshot showcases the game's town or field map perspective, featuring sprite characters, illustrating the shift from Shining in the Darkness's 3D dungeons to a more traditional yet tactical RPG presentation. Descriptions of key locations like the powerful Alticron Kingdom and the historic Guardiana Kingdom where the story begins are also featured. Finally, President Takahashi addresses readers, emphasizing that Shining Force aims to evolve the RPG genre with its tactical simulation gameplay. He highlights the game's impressive 12-megabit size and explains the decision to release it on the standard Genesis/Mega Drive cartridge rather than the Mega CD to make it accessible to more players. Confidence is high that the game's character variations and animations will impress.
Shining Force, The Legacy of Greatness transports players to the vast Rune continent, significantly larger than the world of Shining in the Darkness. The game's world encompasses diverse regions, including mountains, plains, and oceans, across the west and east continents. The adventure starts in the Guardiana Kingdom and progresses eastward towards the mysterious eastern continent. A key gameplay shift is the introduction of a field map, replacing the dungeon crawler structure of its predecessor. This allows for navigation between towns and locations, hinting at a new tactical RPG system. The game's scenario writer, Masayoshi Otomo, confirms ties to Shining in the Darkness, though details remain undisclosed. The team aims to retain the flavor of the original while enhancing the graphics and gameplay. This page delves into the vast data and diverse characters of Shining Force, The Legacy of Greatness. It highlights the rich variety of races in the Shining world, exceeding even Shining in the Darkness. Two screenshots display the game's tactical battle interface, showing character stats and units on the map. Developer comments reveal new races will appear as the game progresses. They humorously note details like the Centaur Princess Meika's design. The number of allied characters is increasing, though the frequency of battle scenes is slightly reduced compared to the previous game due to the new animated attack sequences, which feature diverse patterns. A key point is the player-friendly revival system for characters, a departure from typical simulation RPGs. The Rune continent is home to many races, with hints of Eastern or Japanese influences possibly appearing. Class changes for main characters are also mentioned.
Illustrations showcase characters like Hans, the Spearman, Elf, and May the Knight, Centaur. Graphics director Mr. Tamaki discusses the visual evolution from Shining in the Darkness to Shining Force. He describes the former as having a deformed character style fitting its dungeon crawl feel, while Shining Force aims for a more realistic touch with a wider world and complex relationships, feeling more like a war spectacle. Monster designs become more fearsome later on, and battle scenes grow increasingly flashy, promising exciting gameplay. The page also compares the visual style of the heroes from both games. The next page dives into the graphics and battle system of Shining Force, declaring it a step up from Shining in the Darkness. A major draw is the highly varied and animated battle sequences. The game features impressive anime-style attack animations, with special attacks being particularly noteworthy, surpassing those in the previous title. Developers emphasize the sheer volume of animation patterns for characters, including dynamic visuals based on weapons. Screenshots illustrate the multi-step attack animations and clarify that on the tactical field map, each sprite represents a single unit, be it a character or a monster, which is key to the game's strategy. The page also highlights the visual variety beyond the dungeon crawling of the previous game, showcasing diverse environments like peaceful towns and shops, promising a more expansive world to explore. The detailed maps even incorporate terrain effects into gameplay.
Overall, the graphics and presentation represent a significant evolution for the series.
This page delves into the combat system of Shining Force, a tactics RPG described as similar to Warsong or Fire Emblem at first glance, but with a crucial difference. It lacks a traditional phase concept. The developer comments reveal that battles don't proceed with all player units moving then all enemy units. Instead, units from both sides act in an intermingled, almost real-time fashion, based on a shared parameter meter. This unique system means you can't easily surround and focus fire on single enemies. The developers explain this approach makes the battle feel more dynamic and less predictable, a result of trial and error to find the most engaging system. Screenshots illustrate the tactical map view and the transition to the detailed battle screens seen when units engage, also highlighting enhanced magic effects compared to the previous game, promising flashier visuals. The article also touches upon the collaboration behind the game, noting it's a joint project between Climax, creators of Shining in the Darkness, and the new company Sonic, whose role is primarily focused on planning and ideas to create impactful games for the industry. Shining Force is their first joint venture, with plans for further collaborations with Sega and Climax to achieve things previously not possible. This page continues the Sonic Communication series, offering a glimpse into Sonic software planning. It highlights the company's dynamic nature and its crucial collaboration with Climax. Text reports touch on their method of attracting talented individuals and the close relationship between the two firms, marked by frequent meetings. A prominent illustration provides a detailed look at the workspace where the joint project, Shining Force, is being developed. Explicitly labeled as the Climax Development Room, it identifies key personnel involved, such as the game's main programmer, character designer, the head of the CG team, and even a salesman facilitating communication between Climax and Sonic. Visuals include a development room board and a humorous drawing showing the staff's intense focus on their work, so engrossed it's compared playfully to watching illicit videos. The article paints a picture of an energetic team deeply committed to creating impact in the industry, a sentiment echoed in the description of their latest title, Shining Force, also being full of energy. This page features columns from key figures in the industry and a production report on a highly anticipated game. Hiroyuki Takahashi shares his thoughts on making the game industry more interesting. He recounts meeting with Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii and exchanging game experiences, mentioning playing YS2 and Wizardry 2. He discusses the difference between playing games and the demands of development, noting the intensity of working on Shining Force, accompanied by a photo of himself. Next, Naito Hiroshi gives us a glimpse into his daily life in his Here We Go column. He talks about his routine involving work, late nights, playing games, particularly pinball, visiting arcades, and his appreciation for cars like the Honda NSX and Beat. The page also includes the second part of the document, Shining Force Production Report. It confirms the game's announcement and touches on the reception to its mix of RPG and simulation genres. The report emphasizes the significant data size, 12 megabits, and the demanding, almost hellish development work involved in trying to achieve fully animated battles. Screenshots are included, showing a battle scene and the world map. At the top right, there's a humorous illustration titled, It's Too Good, There's No Loss, followed by a comic strip featuring characters in a style reminiscent of Sonic the Hedgehog, depicting a comedic scene about opening a forbidden box. This page opens with the second part of the Taguchi Sosui special column, titled, Saw Shibutani Dogen at Dawn, continuing a narrative alongside an intriguing illustration. Next, Professor Tagawa takes us on a weekend space trip in his column, delving into a fantastical journey, likely inspired by science fiction, complemented by a review of the book The Mission of Gravity by Hal Clement, and a note about NASA ESA. Below that, Masaki Wachi's column, Scary Story DX, discusses his recent life changes, particularly moving into an office, and the challenges of game production. Given his previous mention as a scenario writer, this column likely touches upon his demanding work on titles like Shining Force, and a photo of him is included. The Game Designer's Elephant's Hole section invites readers into the world of game design, suggesting it's a space for interaction and questions. Finally, the ending section serves as the magazine's wrap-up, encouraging readers to send in mail, questions, and feedback, referencing the magazine by its nickname, Sonitsu. This page features an update regarding the serialized manga adaptation of the classic Mega Drive title, El Viento. It opens with a dramatic comic panel showing the character Annette, with the line, "Shall we begin the ritual, Annette?" setting the stage for action. but the large heading immediately indicates things didn't go as planned. The main text explains the unexpected news.
The El Viento manga is on hiatus starting this issue due to unavoidable circumstances. Messages from Wolf Team, the publisher of the game, and the artist, Ueno Tetsu, explain that Ueno-sensei was in a motorcycle accident, fracturing his right collarbone and sustaining other injuries, making him unable to draw for the time being. Both apologize to readers who were following the series. The editorial department also weighs in, expressing regret for the hiatus of what was the magazine's first comic serialization, praising Ueno-sensei's detailed character designs and contribution. Ueno-sensei himself sends a message, expressing his regret at not being able to continue the manga right now, but encouraging fans to enjoy Annette's role in the El Viento game in the meantime. He promises to recover and return as soon as possible. A photo shows Ueno-sensei drawing, and there's a section encouraging readers to send letters of encouragement to him, providing an address. It's noted he can't reply due to his injury but will appreciate the support. It's unfortunate news, but the magazine handles it transparently, showing concern for the artist while updating the readers. This page features the 8th installment of the Hyper-Technology series by AGI Nihyaku, kicking off with a dramatic tease about something that returns from death no matter how many times it's killed. This leads into a discussion about programming-type robot battle games. The article touches on the history of this niche genre, noting its roots dating back to systems like the Apple II and even the Japanese Sony SMC 777, indicating its enduring appeal despite its rarity. The focus then shifts to a modern example, RoboSport, from Maxis, the publisher known for SimCity and SimEarth. This game involves players programming robots to engage in tactical battles. The screenshot illustrates the top-down battlefield where these programmed robots execute their strategies. The gameplay involves team-based combat with various robot types and weapons like auto, burst, rifle, and missile. What sets it apart is that players program their actions beforehand, then watch the resulting battle unfold, much like watching a video replay with VCR-like controls, allowing for play, rewind, and fast forward. The reviewer finds this simulation-like aspect, comparing it to being an American football coach watching film, quite engaging. The game continues through rounds of planning and battle until a team is eliminated. The author muses on the potential popularity of such a unique game, wondering if RoboSport will find an audience in Japan, especially given the growing number of Mac users, as it was initially a Mac title. This page brings us the Genesis Information Bureau, Volume 6, featuring guests from France, and a look at some new releases. The main focus is on a collaboration with the French game magazine, Consoles Plus, a sister publication to the computer magazine Tilt. They discuss the French gaming market and the technical differences with the SEGA video format, noting that it can make MegaDrive graphics and music run slower compared to the Japanese NTSC version. The page includes Consoles Plus's top 10 list for the MegaDrive, featuring popular games like Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, Shadow Dancer, The Secret of Shinobi, Ghostbusters, Super Monaco Grand Prix, Joe Montana Football, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Strider, Valis 2i, Lakers vs. Celtics in the NBA playoffs, and PGA Tour Golf. Next, the article highlights the rapid release pace of Electronic Arts, who have recently put out titles such as Centurion, Defender of Rome, King's Bounty, Fairy Tale Adventure, Blockout, and Might and Magic. 4 upcoming ED games are previewed. Road Rash is a wild motorcycle combat game where you attack rivals and break through police barricades, capturing a reckless thrill. Starflight is a unique space action adventure, exploring a vast galaxy, focusing on discovery and interaction with alien races, despite having somewhat simple graphics. Shadow of the Beast, planned for release on the Sega CD, is noted for its absolutely stunning graphics and music. Finally, Fatal Rewind, a challenging side-scrolling action game from Psygnosis set in the 21st century, is also previewed. The Sega Genesis is preparing for a wave of new releases. A key focus is the sports game competition between Sega and Electronic Arts, specifically in ice hockey. EA's NHL Hockey faces off against Sega's Mario Lemieux Ice Hockey. While NHL Hockey boasts features like 24 teams and a tournament mode, Mario Lemieux Ice Hockey is lauded for its improved gameplay. The article also discusses movie tie-in games. Alien 3, developed by Probe Software, is a Genesis exclusive. Other anticipated movie titles include Back to the Future, Part 2, and Predator 2. Mirrorsoft will also bring the popular computer games Speedball 2 and the shooter Xenon 2 to the Genesis, promising a diverse and exciting lineup. This page features the announcement of the winners for the BeepMD's Ambition Quiz, a special event celebrating the magazine's 3rd anniversary and 1 month. Despite receiving a massive 1,538 entries, the quiz proved challenging, as no one achieved a perfect score. The magazine staff explains that due to the difficulty and even a mistake in one of the questions, point 1, prizes were awarded based on accuracy, and the answer for point 1 was deemed correct for everyone. The article goes on to clarify some of the trickier questions, referencing past issues and articles related to games and magazine features. Games specifically mentioned in the explanations include the Japanese RPG Blue Almanac, the classic shoot-'em-up Hellfire, and the sports title Lethal Ball. A summary section highlights the top performer in the shopping quest portion of the quiz. It also lists the top 3 entries with the highest application numbers, surprisingly ranking Wolf Team, Sega, and BeepMD itself, noting the popularity and drawing success of Sega compared to the others. The correct answers for all quiz points are also provided. The page is rounded out with a few small, unrelated comic strips. This page continues the coverage of the MD/GG King Deciding Battle Quiz. The magazine highlights that this contest, featuring questions from game trivia to puns, saw no perfect scores but many high-scoring participants. The most challenging questions were those related to specific developers and their games, including Technosoft, Micronet, Sigma, Toei, Microcabin, Cure Software, Data East, and Face. The page clarifies answers to some tricky questions, revealing connections to games like Sunsoft's Super Fantasy Zone, Tengen's Magical Puzzle Popples, Toho's King Ghidorah, Human's Fastest One, Tsukuda Ideal's Magical Talutokun, and the character Oppa Oppa Jr. from Sims. Emphasizing the need for the junior part, a summary section announces the quiz champion, Mr. Sato from Chiba Prefecture, who answered 24 questions correctly. The magazine expresses gratitude to everyone who participated, and the game developers who cooperated, mentioning plans for similar events in the future. The bulk of the page is dedicated to listing the winners of the many prizes across various categories, awarded to numerous participants from across Japan for the shopping quest and the main quiz. This guide instructs readers on how to complete a survey postcard included in the magazine. Proper completion, including neat bubble filling and clean cutting, is crucial. The postcard allows for personal messages to the editorial team, suggesting readers offer game port suggestions or general feedback. The survey gathers information on reader demographics, gender, age, occupation, gaming habits, Mega Drive game ownership, preferred magazines, and article preferences from the current issue. It probes what makes a good game and lists the gaming systems owned, covering various platforms from the era like Mega Drive, Super NES, and others. The survey's purpose is to provide the magazine with valuable insights into its readership to improve future content. This page presents a list of 93 game titles, serving as a survey question, asking readers which of these potential future titles they are most interested in purchasing. It's a fantastic look at the diverse range of games being anticipated for the Mega Drive at the time, spanning numerous genres from action and RPGs to strategy, simulation, and puzzle games. Prominent titles listed include international releases like Golden Axe 2, Rolling Thunder 2, Prince of Persia, and Lemmings, alongside popular Japanese series such as YS2I and games based on anime and manga. Many titles feature tentative names, hinting at games still in development, including potential new entries in series like Alesti and games based on properties like Detonator or Goon. The sheer variety demonstrates the breadth of content being considered for the platform, from major known quantities to niche Japanese releases. This page is another installment in the Game Designer's Territory series, written by Naoto Kadokura, focusing this time on the emotionality of characters. The author expresses a desire for game characters to be less predictable and more selfish, citing examples like characters who don't just sleep to recover, but might wander off or get into trouble based on their mood. The article delves into how to create appealing characters by adding depth beyond simple game mechanics. It outlines 3 key aspects. First, unfree characters, suggesting that even protagonist actions shouldn't always be entirely player-controlled. Second, characters should have a sense of life, arguing that adding human flaws and quirks, like a brave warrior being terrified of mice, makes them more relatable and interesting than a purely heroic figure. This smell of life,
adds personality during quests. Finally, characters' personal history is highlighted as crucial, especially for player avatar characters, although a detailed discussion is postponed. The page also features a whimsical, abstract black-and-white illustration below the text. This page introduces upcoming Mega CD titles, with a primary focus on the Sega Mega CD launch title, Planet Woodstock, Funky Horror Band. This is described as a new type of musical RPG that heavily utilizes the CD audio capabilities. The game centers around FHB, a masked rock band of 6 aliens who crash land on a planet. A boy from Funky Village discovers them after they lose their instruments, becoming discouraged. The preview emphasizes that music is the core mechanic, serving the function of weapons and magic found in traditional RPGs. The page includes screenshots of the game's puppet-like alien band members and introduces several key characters from the planet, including the protagonist boy, Lisa, Prince, Steve, Eris, and Ornette, hinting at their roles and personalities. The article suggests the game incorporates various music genres, and the reviewer seems intrigued by the unique concept of a music-driven RPG. Other Mega CD titles briefly mentioned include Ernest Evans, Soul to Race, FHEY Area, Isle Lord, and Detonator Organ. This page focuses on the Sega CD title, Ernest Evans, detailing the voice recording session for the game's visual scenes. Developed by Wolf Team, this action/Kudram hybrid is slated for an early December release in Japan. The article highlights the post-recording session that took place on September 3rd, where professional voice actors recorded their lines based on scripts alone, without the final animation. The session emphasized precise timing and accent checks, wrapping up efficiently within the scheduled 2 hours. The page features photos and comments from the key voice cast, including Kazuki Yao as Ernest Evans, known for Gundam ZZ, Yuko Minaguchi as Annette, known for Yawara, Ryo Horikawa as Siegfried Munchausen, known for Dragon Ball Z, and Hideyuki Tanaka as Al Capone, known for Record of Lodoss War. They share brief impressions of the recording, noting the unique challenge of working without visuals. The development is reported to be progressing, with game scenes complete, although graphic production is slightly behind. The game promises a blend of archaeological knowledge and intense action. This page continues the exploration of Ernest Evans, offering insights into stages 2 and 3. Stage 2 is set in the Peruvian highlands, noting the effect of thin air on gameplay. It details hazards like collapsing bridges and introduces enemies such as piranhas, man-eating plants, and animated moai statues. The boss for Stage 2 is a large creature, the Mantis boss, whose attack patterns and weak point are described. A side note clarifies that the stage numbering was adjusted, with this area becoming Stage 7 in the final game, but the content is similar. Stage 3, titled Inside the Shrine is Painful, focuses on the search for the Necronomicon, describing the shrine entrance as unsettling. This stage features challenging encounters, including a memorable armadillo-like mid-boss, and the Stage 3 boss, a powerful priest who attacks with lightning. The page also highlights Ernest's special weapons, the simple throwable stone, and the effective Morning Star Whip, essential tools for overcoming the stage's obstacles and tough opponents. This page delves further into the world of Ernest Evans, shifting the focus to Stage 4 aboard the Orient Express. Ernest is in pursuit of Al Capone's henchmen, who have stolen the Necronomicon, but the train itself holds hidden dangers. The screenshots showcase intense action on the train's rooftop, featuring enemies who swing pipes and exhibit surprising acrobatic skills. The boss for this stage is described as popping up from a pile of coal, spitting fire. The article also touches on the gameplay on the rooftops, mentioning items available, and the challenge of dealing with enemy aircraft firing machine guns. A general reflection on the game notes the progression from Stage 2 to 4, praising the game's atmosphere, smooth animation, and dynamic movement, concluding that it is a truly enjoyable experience. Furthermore, the page highlights the game's music, which features live performances. It prominently mentions the participation of Hiroki Ito, the former guitarist of the band Echoes. Details are given about the music production process and specifically mention 2 tracks, a dynamic intro and a melodious ending theme. In intro, Ito reportedly played music harder than anything he did with Echoes. His profile notes his age, past work with Echoes, and current activities, including recording and production work. The article emphasizes the quality of the music and encourages players to look forward to it. This page features a look at the strategy game Tenka Fubu for the Sega CD. The article highlights the game's focus on combat, detailing the three types: field battles, siege battles, and naval battles, emphasizing their strategic depth. It delves into the game's scenarios, specifically showcasing the initial setup for Scenario 1, titled Warlords in Disorder, which begins in the spring of 1555. A map illustrates the fragmented political landscape at this starting point. The page also presents a selection of the major warlords players will encounter in this scenario, displaying their character portraits and family crests, including prominent figures like Oda Nobunaga, Takeda Shingen, and Uesugi Kenshin, among others. A side feature discusses the contributors' favorite warlords, highlighting the tactical genius of the Sanada family, noting their reputation for strategic brilliance. This page delves into the combat mechanics of Tenka Fubu, explaining that mastering the battle modes is key to unifying Japan. It highlights the three core types of combat: naval, field, and siege battles. Naval battles primarily take place in the Seto Inland Sea, emphasizing the importance of securing ports and increasing naval power. A demonstration shows the mighty Mori Navy, renowned for their tactical skill and knowledge of the tides, handily defeating the Otomo fleet. Field battles are mentioned as part of the overall combat flow, followed by siege battles. Siege battles are crucial as castles are the final defense. Players can choose between a direct assault, which continues until forces are depleted, or a lengthy siege, which can take years but requires resources to maintain. Screenshots illustrate the command options during a siege, including assault, siege, information, and retreat. The page also showcases examples of different castle types, like Hirashiro, Flatland Castle, Yamashiro, Mountain Castle, and Tarakan, Temple Fortress, and the generals involved in those specific scenarios. This page focuses on field battles, the fundamental combat type in Nobunaga's ambition. It highlights the strategic importance of choosing formations from the 8 available types and adapting your tactics to the enemy's arrangement in the hex-based battles. The page then vividly recreates the historic Battle of Mikatagahara between Takeda Shingen and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Screenshots illustrate the setup and progression of this pivotal battle, showing the Takeda army's numerical superiority, 25,000 versus Tokugawa's 11,000. The text explains how Ieyasu was compelled to engage Shingen despite being heavily outnumbered, leading to his decisive defeat. The difference in troop numbers is emphasized as the primary factor determining the outcome, reflecting the harsh realities of Sengoku-era warfare, where victory often hinged on overwhelming force and strategic traps. The page also features portraits of key generals involved in the battle for both sides. This page dives into the world of Lunar, the silver star for the Sega CD, highlighting that the characters are its main selling point. The large illustration showcases the vibrant cast, giving a sense of the adventure. The article discusses the game's visuals, noting how it effectively uses the Sega CD's capabilities to render detailed scenes, which the reviewer calls the world of the artisan. These impressive visual sequences are scattered throughout the game, appearing when entering towns or meeting important characters, providing a smooth, continuous gameplay experience without loading delays. The reviewer feels Lunar is shaping up to be more than just a standard RPG. Smaller screenshots show dynamic opening demo sequences and character portraits from cutscenes, emphasizing the game's presentation. There's also a look at the status screen interface, which is described as being easy to navigate, with large, readable text windows that change depending on the selected option, such as checking Alex's stats like HP, MP, attack, and defense, or accessing menus like magic, equip, and items. The next page shifts focus from the main party to introduce other crucial figures in Lunar, the Silver Star. The article highlights the legendary 4 heroes who saved Lunar in the past: Mel, the beast-human mayor of Maribia; Remilia, the leader of the Magic Guild, and Mia's mother; the powerful Galeon, Nash's mentor; and Dine, the Dragon Master, though it's noted he is deceased, and thus not pictured among the character illustrations. The page also introduces supporting characters like Ramus the Ranger, Temjin from the Borderlands with a straightforward nature, and the fiery, skilled archer Facia. Below the character introductions, the article explores the world's towns. It points out the surprising scale of areas like Berg Village, which, despite being on an island, spans over 50 screens. The reviewer praises how each town has a distinct atmosphere, achieved through varied architectural styles and concepts in their design, allowing players to immediately recognize their location visually. Screenshots showcase different town environments, including port areas, and what appears to be a large floating city. This page delves into the diverse and numerous monsters inhabiting the world of Lunar, the Silver Star. Monsters are highlighted as crucial elements, providing valuable experience points to the heroes. The article notes that over 90 distinct monster types appear in the game, each boasting unique, characteristic animations that contribute to the lively battle scenes. The design process is mentioned, starting with dozens of rough sketches before progressing to the detailed pixel art seen in the game. The auto-battle system is emphasized as allowing players to simply enjoy watching these dynamic monster movements unfold. The page showcases both early concept art sketches of various creatures and examples of the finished pixel sprites. 4 specific monsters are featured with accompanying descriptions and animated sprite sequences. The Slimy, a common gelatinous monster described as somewhat larger than typical jellies, possessing low intelligence but capable of transforming to attack adventurers and potentially absorbing them. Quote, the Zelbazone, a representative undead monster, half-decayed body and half-earth, lacking free will and typically controlled by others, though it may attack those who disturb its grave. Quote, the Frappas, a chimera monster synthesized from plant and arthropod elements capable of capturing prey with its legs and swallowing them whole, or opening a flower on its head to scatter poisonous pollen. Quote, the Magoo fly, a giant fly that has developed intellect but regressed in terms of wings and legs, rendering it flightless. It favors carrion, carrying prey to its nest and waiting for it to rot before consuming it. This page features an in-depth interview with Ayano Koshiro, the monster designer for Lunar, the Silver Star. She explains that the design process began with rough image concepts, which she then arranged and developed, focusing on giving each monster unique movements and attack methods, setting them apart from typical RPGs. Approximately 90 distinct monsters were created for the game. Designing each monster took varying amounts of time, typically between 3 to 5 hours, but sometimes a full day was needed for the initial design and pixel artwork. Ayano Koshiro drew inspiration from a wide range of sources, including animal encyclopedias, devil dictionaries, and action games like Golden Axe and Ghouls, Kining Ghosts, emphasizing the importance of dynamic movement and incorporating multiple attack patterns. Her profile highlights her previous contributions to games like YS and ActRaiser, and states her dream is to create a realistic monster encyclopedia. She expresses her hope that players will appreciate the monster's movements and attacks rather than just defeating them quickly. The page also includes a special service section featuring bonus monster designs shown in pixel art, including the 100-Face, Lizard Soldier, and Death Karashin. A preview for the next issue promises more details on Lunar's dungeons, shops, items, magic, and battle system, alongside character introductions accompanied by artwork. This page features Nostalgia 1907, a popular adventure game being ported from the X68000. This version is scheduled for release in early December on Chrondrom by Sherwave, likely for the Mega CD platform the magazine covers. It's described as a real action-adventure game that uses a new system where conversations drive the story forward through character reactions. The story is set in 1907, 2 years after the Russo-Japanese War. While sailing the North Atlantic, the luxury liner Nostalgia is taken over via wireless message. The unseen culprit uses a time bomb to destroy the ship's engine room and lifeboats, leaving it adrift. The bomber gives the crew 8 hours before the ship sinks, and demands they find something called Russia's Mist, supposedly hidden on board. The crew must find a detective among the passengers to help investigate the bomber and the mysterious Russia's Mist. The page includes pixel art screenshots showing the grand ship, scenes of destruction perhaps from the bombing, and the game's logo. The images are overlaid with text, emphasizing the setting on the North Atlantic luxury liner, and the tragedy unfolding with the explosion. The text hints at the mystery, asking if the bomber's goal is to find Russia's Mist within a time limit, and urging the player to find it out. It sets up a high-stakes mystery on a sinking ship. This page continues exploring Nostalgia 1907, detailing the unfolding mystery. The crew enlists French detective Raymond Dunant to find the bomber. Dunant suspects Kasuke Yamada, the only Japanese passenger, based on the bomb being Japanese-made. The game features a new multiplayer system, where the player controls different characters as the story progresses. A core mechanic is the posture control system, affecting how characters react based on Kasuke's attitude during conversations. Arrogance can hinder progress, while humility might open doors. To clear his name, Kasuke becomes the detective's assistant, investigating passengers and the enigmatic Russia's Mist. The Mega CD version of Nostalgia is highlighted. While character and window graphics are still in development, the backgrounds closely resemble the X68000 original shown previously. A major upgrade is the audio. Utilizing famous voice actors for natural conversations, direct CD audio for music, and PCM for sound effects, the scenario has been partially rewritten, offering a fresh experience even for players who completed the earlier versions. Development is reported as going well. The next page focuses on the Sega Mega CD title, Dark Wizard, featuring an interview with character designers Kenichi Onuki and Mori, described as the parents who raised the game's 8 Holy Kings. The interview primarily features Kenichi Onuki discussing his involvement in designing the main characters. He mentions the challenge of creating 8 distinct lead characters and aiming for cool designs without getting bogged down in specific archetypes initially. He clarifies that monster designs were handled by someone else, with his focus solely on the main characters. Onuki also talks about the difference between illustrations and game graphics, emphasizing that game visuals need to be easily readable and playable, not just detailed. His favorite character among the 4 Holy Kings he designed is a Cadle, stating he enjoys drawing character types he hasn't worked on often before. The page is visually rich, showcasing character illustrations of some of the Holy Kings. A separate section titled Main Characters Appear on Screen features examples of the pixel art as it appears in the game, highlighting the detail achieved, possibly due to the Mega CD format. Onuki's profile is included, listing his prior work in anime and manga character design, such as VFam and Tekkaman Blade. The captions below the character art praise the quality of the designs and the detailed pixel art, suggesting the long path to realize them was worth it. This page features an interview with Mori Akiteru, another character designer for the Sega Mega CD title, Dark Wizard. Continuing the discussion from the previous page, Mori is introduced with his profile, highlighting his extensive background in character design for various anime and video projects, including works like Ideon and Dragon Quest, the TV anime. In the interview, Mori explains he was asked to join the project by the producer. He discusses the difference between designing for anime and video versus games, initially thinking it would be very different, but finding similarities in the process of bringing characters to life. He mentions his preference for designing characters he's comfortable with, and notes that among the 4 Holy Kings he drew, his favorites are Shaiman and Gina. Regarding the project's status, he feels his part is mostly finished, waiting to see the characters implemented in the game. He expresses hope for Dark Wizard to be a new kind of RPG with unique elements, comparable to the distinctiveness of Dragon Quest. The page includes a large photo of Mori and a smaller photo of him with his wife, with a caption noting they are newlyweds. Below the interview, the section titled, Main Characters Appear on Screen, shows examples of the characters rendered in pixel art for the game, emphasizing the detailed on-screen appearance of the designs. This page follows up on the discussion of the Holy Kings, introducing the 16 loyal followers who accompany the 8 main heroes in Dark Wizard. These followers join the player partway through the game and provide support. They are described as reliable companions, with both good and evil types, though the text muses on the difficulty of truly understanding the evil type's motivations. The page is structured by the Holy King they follow, with character names and brief descriptions next to their artwork. It features followers for Wenric Nines, Sauzer, Adol, Amon, Skinjan, Gina, Lena, and Imelda. Each section presents the character's name, their relationship to the Holy King, and a short background story or personality trait. For example, under Wenric 9, we see Diora, described as his consort and Helena's older sister, and Berush, Lena's nursemaid who is a skilled magician. Under Sauzer are featured Dukun, a legendary swordsman and warrior, and Narcalize, a powerful magician. The artwork showcases a variety of character designs, from knights and mages to rogues and support characters, illustrating the diverse cast that supports the main heroes. This page delves into the world of Mega CD RPGs, starting with a look at representative monsters and their power-ups. The magazine highlights how the increased capacity of Mega CD allows for more varied and detailed enemy designs, showcasing 5 monsters including Pegasus, Griffon, Chimera, Manticore, and Hellhound, each with distinct transformed states rather than just palette swaps. The focus then shifts to the Mega CD RPG 3x3 Eyes, Seima Densetsu, based on the popular manga series. The page excitedly announces that the main characters, Pai, Yakumo, and Rinrin, will soon be coming to life on the console. It mentions the game features a multi-quest system, offering multiple scenarios, made possible by the CREDROM format. Screenshots show the overhead world map, where the party of 3 explores, and a status screen displaying character portraits and stats, emphasizing the depth expected from the scenario design. This page dives into Solfease, a new shooting game coming to the Mega CD from Wolf Team. The article explains the first 2 stages, details the player's ship, and introduces the 2 main characters. Development is progressing well, with programming for Stage 3 already complete, and the goal is to launch the game concurrently with the Mega CD hardware. Playing the Mega CD version, the game is remarkably faithful to the original X68000 release. A key selling point, the intricate movement of the multi-jointed enemies, is ported almost perfectly. While photos can't fully capture the impact, it's truly impressive. Beyond the faithful port, the Mega CD version enhances the experience. The game retains its core appeal with simple controls, yet a strategic power-up system, and well-balanced gameplay. What's more, the Mega CD version adds exciting new visual scenes for the opening and ending sequences, a welcome upgrade powered by the CREDROM format. The page also shows screenshots highlighting gameplay features like the adjustable turret angle, and provides specifications for the player's ship, and profiles for the protagonists, Misao Hatanaka and Eric Williams. This page continues the look at Solfease on the Mega CD. It jumps straight into the action, detailing the early stages of the game. Stage 1 is set in the remnants of a human colony destroyed by space police, a far cry from the expected 30 million inhabitants. The reviewer warns against taking it easy, as traps and mid-bosses appear early. They show screenshots of these mid-bosses and the final boss, Crabbrain, describing its 6 legs and recommending dodging its rhythmic movements. Stage 2 takes place in a large floating weapons factory. The reviewer notes that while the multi-jointed enemies here have flashy movements, they aren't too difficult to get past if you aren't tricked by them. They provide tips for handling specific enemies, like attacking the blue core part of most multi-jointed enemies for a hit, and mention that you don't die from hitting the top or bottom walls, with exceptions. The page covers 2 bosses for this stage. Eggwalker, described as an enemy that jumps and dives down while spreading bullets, and Industrial Core, a large, moving target. The advice is to dodge its large, small, and vertical attacks, suggesting that failing to do so will likely result in losing remaining lives. Multiple screenshots illustrate the various enemies and boss encounters discussed. This page dives into the world of the Mega CD RPG, Seirei Shinseki Feiria, developed by Wolf Team and slated for a December release. It's presented as a world guide, following a previous look at the game's systems. The article aims to explore the setting's background in detail. It starts by recounting the game's history, highlighting a time when sprites brought peace before humans misused their power, leading to the Great War of Reargrad. This devastating conflict destroyed civilizations and reshaped the land, resulting in the sealing of powerful magic. The piece then explains the magic system, which relies on borrowing power from sprites, noting its limited use in the current era compared to its past capabilities, which allowed for constructing massive magical structures and even space travel. Key character types are introduced, including the Magus, individuals with exceptional magical talent, often tied to bloodline, who typically study at institutions like the Lanfair Magic Academy, depicted in a screenshot. There's also the Sprite Knight, blessed warriors from the past, and it's mentioned that the protagonist, Riferu Arfuredo, is a descendant of one, shown in accompanying concept art. Finally, the current culture is described, having regressed to a primitive state after the war, though cities and trade are slowly reviving, resembling ancient city-states, as seen in screenshots of a town and harbor. It seems moving between regions requires permission from local authorities. This page delves deeper into the magic system of Fenneria, providing a list of spells available in the game. The spells are categorized into types like fire, lightning, explosion, recovery, priest/support, movement, and other attack, with brief descriptions of their effects, such as dealing damage, healing, boosting temporary stats, inflicting status ailments, teleporting, and escaping. The accompanying text explains that, while the magic system covers standard RPG types, character proficiency varies, with the protagonist Riefuru being capable across several types, while others, like Terufor, excel in support magic. Players will learn who is best suited for which spells through gameplay. The page also shows character art of 2 sisters, noting their differing aptitudes, with one being notably bad at magic. A final section highlights the game's impressive magic animations, explaining how the effects uniquely appear, layered both in front of and behind monster graphics, showcased with the icy spell Shigira. This page features a special interview with Haruhiko Mikimoto, known for character design in anime like Super Dimension Fortress Macross and Gunbuster. He discusses his role in designing characters for the upcoming RPG, Ailroad, also released on Sega CD. The interview delves into the differences between designing characters for games versus anime, and how many drawings he created, noting about 30 main character designs. He mentions the game's story-focused RPG nature influenced the design to make the protagonist's party unique and appealing, using realistic colors to match the game's atmosphere. With a visual scene animation, he plans to rely on detailed layouts for charm rather than extensive character movement, similar to anime keyframes. Mikimoto also shares his personal experience with games, admitting he hasn't played many, only partially finishing Dragon Quest in. This lack of experience makes the game world feel completely new and fresh to him. He is looking forward to exploring how to convey subtle expressions and movements in the game's visual scenes, as it's a first for him in a game project. The page includes a screenshot of a battle scene showing the character designs in action against a large monster and a photo of Mikimoto working. Finally, there's a section announcing a giveaway where readers can win one of 3 signed illustration boards by Haruhiko Mikimoto. This page dives into Detonator Organ, an upcoming adventure game set for a March release on Crodrom from Hot B. The game ties into the popular OVA series, which just saw the release of its first volume, Birth Arc, on August 25th, fueling anticipation for the game. The article highlights the game's main visuals, promising subtle changes in character expressions and anime-style processing during battle scenes, adding depth to the presentation. It also hints that the visuals might contain clues crucial to solving the game's mysteries. Several screenshots are showcased, depicting character portraits like the protagonist's friend Nock and the mysterious prophet Kumi, alongside various game interfaces and action scenes. Additionally, there's a section covering other Mega CD news, mentioning a rumored December 7th launch for the console itself, though acknowledging potential delays. It also gives updates on other promising CD-ROM titles. Game Art's Umemi Mix and Telenet's Cosmic are reported to be progressing smoothly, while Compile's MD Aleste, known internationally as Robotic Aleste, is expected to feature a Sengoku, Warring States, period setting. The outlook is positive, as these titles are being handled by capable developers. This page kicks off the Beep Mega Drive Hot Menu Part 2 section, focusing entirely on Dragon's Fury, known as Devil Crush MD in Japan. It announces the arrival of a full-fledged pinball game on the Mega Drive, boasting realistic physics and even the ability to nudge the table. This is a port of the classic title from the PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16, but it features an exclusive new final stage, powering up the experience. The article highlights the game's extensive content, featuring a main stage spanning 3 screens, numerous hidden gimmicks, 6 distinct bonus stages, and that unique Mega Drive-only final stage. Achieving 10 billion points unlocks the path to the final boss and the game's ending. The controls are praised for being excellent, with smooth ball movement that feels remarkably authentic compared to a real pinball machine, including the crucial tilt mechanic. It also includes a handy pinball tips section, covering fundamental techniques like stopping the ball on the flipper, transferring it between flippers, and mastering the art of nudging. Specific examples are shown, like trapping the ball for aiming, or using a quick right flipper lift after shooting to send the ball higher up the table. Getting an extra ball is also briefly mentioned. Dragon's Fury was released by Technosoft on October 10, 1991. Dragon's Fury features 6 bonus stages, accessed by hitting pockets determined by the main stage's magic circle roulette. Successfully reaching a bonus stage doubles your flippers. The stages include the Dragon Stage, Destroy Dragon's Neck, Bat Stage, Clear Coffins and Bats, Magic Palace, Defeat Mages, Skull Stage, Destroy 3 Skulls, Ancient Ruins, Light Spots and Defeat a Mage, and Human Freezer, Defeat a Grotesque Human. The main stage also includes dynamic elements, skeletons, crawling slimes, and maggots. Hitting a pocket on a goddess figure changes her appearance, with one form leading to the Human Freezer's entry. This page covers the RPG Sorcerer Kingdom for the Sega Mega Drive. It emphasizes that future RPG battles need more than just pressing a button. This game features strategic, tactical combat necessary to succeed in this era. Published by NCS Messiah, it was set for release in winter 1991. The article highlights the game's structure, describing it not as a single overarching quest, but a series of smaller adventures, akin to reading short stories. Players aren't given one objective, but must gather information, often from townsfolk, to determine their next goal.
Completing these smaller quests drives the narrative forward.
A key mechanic discussed is the relationship between the magic map and titles.
Early in the game, players receive a title and a magic map from the king.
Completing an adventure marks the map with a sword icon and increases the player's rank or title when reported back to the king. Screenshots show interaction with the king and receiving items, as well as views of the magic map, initially showing the starting town, and later versions with added sword icons representing completed quests. This system encourages exploration and provides clear visual feedback on progress. This page continues the guide to Sorcerer Kingdom, focusing on the importance of magic and understanding the enemies you will face. Magic is crucial in this RPG. Though your main character cannot use it alone, you must recruit companions who can. Different magic types exist, including fire, freeze, and thunder spells, each with unique visual effects and uses, all consuming your companion's MP, which, if depleted, can lead to a game over. The guide then shifts to early combat advice. Initial monsters can feel incredibly strong, and you're advised to upgrade from a dagger to a club quickly. The key strategy is to initiate combat yourself, and try to face only one monster at a time to avoid being overwhelmed.
Retreating is also a valid tactic when things get tough.
Several early game monsters are introduced. The forest-dwelling, dog-faced kobolds, goblins who attack in groups, green slimes that melt things, fast and strange trolls with high HP, troublesome hellhounds with fire breath, cave-dwelling griffons and lizardmen. Understanding these foes is key to survival in the early stages of the adventure. This page dives into the strategic simulation game, Ransi no Hasha, offering guidance to help players navigate the complexities of warfare and politics. It highlights that the difficulty of the game changes dramatically depending on which of the 12 countries you choose to start with, noting that some countries are unified and easier to manage, while others present a significant challenge due to internal power struggles. For instance, the Takeda or Mori clans are suggested as more advantageous starts, contrasting with the difficult beginning for the Ryuzoji clan, which starts with only one general. The guide emphasizes the importance of understanding the game's phases, particularly troop management, politics, and strategy. Troop management involves strengthening your forces and ensuring your generals remain loyal. Politics covers managing your territory and foreign relations, while strategy is for launching attacks. Crucial seasonal advice is provided. Summer is tough economically, making offensive actions potentially more viable, while autumn is the time to focus on developing your land and castles when funds are replenished. Screenshots on the page show the game's interface, including lists of generals with their stats like loyalty and political power,
and a map of Japan illustrating the different territories and strategic points.
Mastering these various aspects is key to conquering the chaotic world presented in this simulation game. This page provides further strategic insights into the historical simulation game Ransi no Hasha. Following up on the previous discussion, it emphasizes the crucial role of politically powerful generals, highlighting that individuals like Uesugi Kenshin, Sanada Yukimura, Kobayakawa Takage, and Kinoshita Hideyoshi are valuable assets who might surrender and join your ranks after defeat. A key tactic advised is to attack with fewer generals to increase the likelihood of convincing these important figures to switch allegiance rather than commit suicide. The page features a screenshot illustrating gameplay elements, showing details for the Kai province under Takeda Shingen, and a prompt related to recruiting Sanada Yukimura. Beyond gameplay tips, there's a fascinating section titled Exploring History that connects the game to the real world by featuring Odawara Castle. It offers a virtual tour, mentions a small entry fee, and even runs a contest asking players who historically controlled the castle, demonstrating the game's foundation in Japanese history and offering related prizes. Crucially, a large map of Japan is displayed, serving as the game's strategic overview. It clearly depicts the various provinces and the starting locations of prominent daimyo like Oda Nobunaga, Takeda Shingen, Uesugi Kenshin, Hojo Ujiyasu, and Mori Motonari, illustrating the fragmented political landscape of the Sengoku period that players must navigate and conquer. The map and associated list of numbered regions are vital for understanding the territorial layout and planning military campaigns in this engaging simulation. This page previews Undead Line, an action and shooting hybrid developed by Palsoft. Described as a dramatic fighting and shooting game, it's a vertical scrolling shooter that blends elements from both genres, such as blocking attacks and collecting items for RPG-like character growth. The page explains the game's UI, showing the score, remaining players, health, and other counters. A significant focus is placed on the game's weapon system. Items are found in treasure chests and can change type when attacked. There are several distinct weapon types available to the player: the basic sword, the rapid-fire throwing knife which spreads, the powerful but tricky axe, a spirit that attacks alongside you, the shock bullet which offers wide area coverage and bullet cancellation, the boomerang that chases enemies when powered up, and the flamethrower which can damage enemies on the ground as well. The article highlights that recognizing these transforming items quickly is key to powering up effectively. The game was planned for a late December release, priced at 8,800 yen. This page continues the preview of Undead Line, delving deeper into the gameplay mechanics and items. The basic actions are straightforward, utilizing 3 buttons on the controller. With customizable mapping, powering up is crucial for unleashing impressive attacks, fitting for an action game. Combat involves both attacking with your equipped weapon and defending by blocking or using special options. The text mentions the Iron Ball as a limited use option that rotates around the player, suggesting defensive capabilities, while timing is key to both offense and defense. The article details various items beyond weapons. Potions offer different effects. Black downgrades weapons, blue restores health, red surprisingly damages you, and yellow grants temporary invincibility. Other items include lead shoes to slow movement, a barrier to block attacks, dynamite to clear the screen, a gem for points, and 1-ups for extra lives. A warning is given about treasure chests, which don't always contain beneficial items. They can hide detrimental effects like poison or the movement-hindering lead shoes. A specific sweet trap is highlighted where a chest appears when your life is low, and picking up a red potion from it can be fatal. The overall impression is that Undead Line is a challenging action shooter with strategic item management. This page showcases Double Dragon 2, The Revenge on the Sega Mega Drive, highlighting its 6 distinct stages. You'll battle through varied environments, starting with the forestry stage, which features grassland and marsh areas, before becoming a desolate wasteland later on, culminating in a fight against powerful bosses like the Stone Golem. The cemetery provides a gloomy atmosphere with rain and thunder, where you'll face relentless zombies that keep coming even when damaged, leading up to the formidable Lich Boss. The rock stage is a fiery inferno surrounded by molten rock, presenting challenges like gargoyles turned to stone. It's advised to power up before tackling this area, which features the fire-spewing Ifrit as a boss. Descend into the cave, a subterranean cavern with an underground lake. Watch out for sharp rocks falling from the ceiling, which are surprisingly tricky to avoid. The final stages feature increasingly difficult bosses, including a massive red dragon that attacks with its body and fire, proving to be quite agile. Conquering all 6 stages requires mastering combat and navigating these dangerous locations. This page continues the coverage of Double Dragon 2, The Revenge on the Mega Drive, starting with a look at the level-up system. Clearing a stage grants the player a level up, allowing them to allocate points to various parameters, increasing their character's strength. The number of points gained depends on the number of captured spirits. Next, 2 more stages are detailed. The first is the Ruins, set inside a medieval Tay-style building littered with bloodstains and weapons, hinting at past massacres. Be careful of traps like suddenly shattering windows and collapsing floors. The second stage covered is the Drain, a location resembling a hidden urban waterway. It features areas with height differences like waterfalls, requiring smart use of the surrounding ledges. The boss fight in this stage is noted as being quite challenging. The boss image shown appears to be a large, amorphous creature. There's also an emergency feature highlighting Palsoft's recent releases. Following their previous title, Palsoft is now releasing Double Dragon 2, described as a masterpiece among recent action games that exceeds expectations. The page concludes with large vertical text proclaiming that the shock and emotion return, and Double Dragon 2 captivates. A large title graphic for Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, is prominently displayed at the bottom right. The feature mentions the game is scheduled for release in mid-December and promises more details in the next issue's hot menu feature. This page focuses on the TerraDrive system and its capabilities, particularly the ability to customize games. It introduces puzzle construction, a unique software that works with both the Mega Drive and IBM PC, featuring a graphics editor. This allows users to create their own artwork and import it, even from formats like GIF, to personalize game elements, such as the background and columns. The page also provides information on connecting to Sega's new online service, TerraNet, which is a platform for exchanging TerraDrive and MegaDrive information. Accessing TerraNet requires a standard PC modem, explaining the connection process and modem types like 2400 bits per second. Additionally, two software titles are highlighted: PagePros, a word processing and graphics program for creating illustrations and layouts, and AutoComms, communication software designed for ease of use, pre-configured with popular BBS entries, plus some Terra-specific bonuses. This page highlights IBM software, focusing on RPGs and adventure games appealing to Japanese users. Eye of the Beholder, a 3D dungeon crawler based on Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, is praised for its accessible gameplay and detailed VGA graphics, though a Japanese manual is desired. Monkey Island, a humorous adventure game from Lucasfilm Games, features a user-friendly command system, mouse support, and immersive sound design. A reviewer highlights the game's spooky environments and bizarre characters. The page also updates on the Pyramid Magic Construction Contest, showcasing impressive user-created levels submitted through the game library. These levels demonstrate creativity within contest guidelines, and Sega expresses gratitude for the submissions. The VG Club showcases new video games from the AM show, promising an exciting lineup. Sega's Spider-Man, a 32-bit side-scroller, allows up to 4 players to control various heroes across 16 stages with diverse gameplay modes. Sega's Rail Chase, a returning adventure shooter, puts players in a trolley, battling enemies in varied environments. MNK and Tecmo's Thunder Dragon, a shooting game, removes the typical bullet limit and features weapon power-ups across 8 levels. Taito's Quiz Quest blends RPG elements with quiz questions, requiring players to answer correctly to progress. Other titles mentioned include Alpha Electronics' Slash Rally and Irem's Thunder Blaster Gyarop. The reviewer is impressed by the variety. This page continues showcasing exciting new games. Alpha Denshi's Thrash Rally is a Neo Geo racing title where you pick from 9 cars to compete across 5 varied stages, including city, forest, desert, and ice, in a race against time to become world champion. Checkpoints extend your time, and modes like World Champ 1 Play and a Dakar Rally type promise diverse challenges. The screenshots show off the different environments and helpful navigation aids, confirming it's a solid entry in the rally genre. Following that is Irem's vertical shooter, Thunder Blaster. This game has a unique power system where continuous shooting builds up energy for a devastating thunderball/bomb attack you can use multiple times. Across 7 tough stages, collecting capsules grants you different weapons like Vulcan, laser, fire, and a versatile bomb. The reviewer notes the high difficulty and strategic use of weapons against hordes of enemies and challenging bosses. Finally, Irem's horizontal shooter Gyarop gets the spotlight. This is a serious side-scroller across 7 stages, where obstacles and enemies come from all angles, with even the screen scrolling diagonally at times to keep you on your toes. Weapons include a lock-on laser, anti-air missiles, and ground-based torpedoes, collected via capsules. Power-up items enhance your arsenal, making it a strategic and action-packed shooter. The varied level designs and environmental hazards are highlighted as particularly engaging. This page opens Volume 7 of the Hyper Sega series, embarking on an adventure centered around the arcade game Radmobile, themed as a holiday in Rome after shopping on Sunday. The core narrative is a detective story where the protagonist, a private investigator, is searching for a phantom version of the Radmobile SV machine, said to have 21 stages and appear at a specific time on a specific date, assisted by his part-timer, a Kane. The investigation leads them to high-tech land Sega Machida, located on the 3rd floor of the Nagasakaya Shiruru building. The arcade is described as spacious, designed with a bright brick interior and light orange tones, featuring painted windows to evoke the feeling of walking through a town street, and even has a sub-name, Italian Avenue. The layout is specifically tailored to young women, aligning with the building's focus on young fashion. Images show the arcade interior, including metal games in the back, and various arcade machines. One photo features 2 high school students who enjoy playing World Derby, a popular horse racing simulation. The page also includes a brief, separate scene set by the Karanda River in autumn, adding a touch of atmosphere to the overall feature. This page continues the Hyper Sega detective story, Following the protagonist and his assistant, a Kane, at high-tech land Sega Machida, they reinforce the Italian Avenue theme, comparing the decor and atmosphere to a holiday in Rome, with Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn while discussing shopping brands. Kane is thrilled after finally winning a Sonic plush from a UFO catcher after a solid hour, which is shown in a photo featuring the arcade manager and someone in a Sonic costume. Moving on. The Sega/Information Station section addresses a previous error regarding Afterburner In, confirming that the game is actually still available in 31 locations across Japan. A correction the detective admits reveals his own poor information gathering. They thank readers for their input and announce a lottery giving away original Sega merchandise, including Game Gear consoles, to those who provided information. The detective then proposes forming a Boy Detective Corps for his agency, asking readers to submit their opinions, interesting Sega news, and illustrations. Images in this section show the Game Gear prizes, a screenshot likely from Radmobile matching the feature's theme, and a charming drawing of Sonic and other characters surrounded by Sega gear. This page features a deep dive into Sega's portable console, the Game Gear, specifically reviewing Namco's Galaga 91. The article highlights the long-awaited return of the classic Galaga series to portable gaming, noting its historical significance stemming from the era of Space Invaders. It discusses how Galaga 91 builds upon Galaga 88, retaining the atmosphere but with significant content changes. Key elements featured are the return of the iconic bonus stages, hoping for the revival of hidden features from previous versions, and the exciting introduction of the dual fighter transformation, significantly boosting firepower. Screenshots showcase the game's title screen, intense gameplay moments, a formidable large alien boss, the distinctive bonus stage visuals, and the powerful dual fighter in action. The review section includes an evaluation radar chart rating operability, game balance, audio/visual aspects, and longevity, showing generally positive scores. A one-point review comments on the Game Gear port quality, noting challenges with the screen aspect ratio compared to arcade versions, but praising the background presentation and the new dual fighter mechanic. This page continues the coverage of Sega's Game Gear handheld, featuring reviews and previews of several diverse titles. The Game Gear original Ninja Gaiden is reviewed, noted for its dramatic visual scenes between action stages, offering a compelling experience distinct from the NES series. Alien Syndrome for the Game Gear makes its debut here, with the first public screenshots revealed. The boxing game Heavyweight Champ, GG, provides a sports option with intense matchups. Axe Battler, A Legend of Golden Axe, is highlighted as an action RPG spin-off, combining exploration reminiscent of Zelda 2 with side-scrolling battles, praised for the satisfying growth of the main character. 2 dedicated RPGs are also featured: Aerial, showcasing its character stats and overhead world, and Shadow Senki, focusing on dialogue and strategic combat encounters. The G.G Hotline sidebar briefly touches on the upcoming release schedule. This page dives into the latest reader-submitted tips and tricks, a recurring feature called the Urawaza League. This installment focuses on 2 distinct titles: Pro Yaku Super League 91, a baseball simulation, and the strategy game Master of Monsters. For Pro Yaku Super League 91, players share methods to unlock hidden modes, like a tournament mode found by holding specific buttons on the title and select screens. Other exploits allow players to instantly win a game by initiating a forfeit sequence, or jump straight to an early ending. These give players shortcuts and ways to manipulate the game's outcome. The tips for Master of Monsters include how to change the game's display language to English by pressing button combinations on the title screen. There's also a note about unique spirits appearing in certain map locations, and a rather powerful exploit involving the warp spell. By warping ally monsters onto the same hex as another friendly unit, players can stack multiple monsters in a single space, essentially creating a super unit for defense, though the stacked monsters cannot move until the top one does. These range from simple aesthetic changes to game-breaking strategies submitted by players. This page continues the Urawaza League feature, presenting a collection of reader-submitted gameplay tips and tricks for various Genesis/Mega Drive titles. Games covered include Marvel Land, where a password lets you access a high-level stage; World Series Baseball with a tip to view team introductions by entering specific characters; and a Sonic the Hedgehog trick to earn a substantial point bonus for fast level clears. Also featured are tips for Streets of Rage, revealing a complex maneuver in 2-player mode to earn an enormous 999,900 point bonus; and Fantasy Zone Gear, detailing a button sequence for a configuration menu that includes an invincibility option. Players also shared how to get a secret bonus in the GG Shinobi by beating bosses without items, and how to access a sound test in Eternal Legend. The page concludes with details about the Urawaza League prize tiers for submitted tips, ranging from valuable items for top tricks down to smaller prizes for simpler ones. This page features a retrospective on a game tournament held in Sapporo, Hokkaido, hosted by Micronet, the developers behind games like Thunder Force IV. Titled Decisive Battle, Magazine Company Showdown, the event pitted representatives from various game magazines against each other playing Micronet's new robot fighting action game, Heavy Nova. The article highlights the excellent food served at the event, describing it as delicious, and details the impressive prizes, including a 29-inch television and a Mega CD console set for the winner. The reviewer, identified as George, humorously notes enjoying the food despite getting knocked out of the tournament early. The page then introduces Heavy Nova itself, describing it as an authentic robot action title coming to the Mega CD. The article emphasizes the game's incredibly smooth, almost artistic animation for the controllable robot Heavy Doll. Screenshots show character selection and intense one-on-one robot combat, reinforcing its fighting game nature. The game was slated for release concurrently with the Mega CD hardware. This page features a reader present campaign, offering a chance to win several popular games and a special item. The giveaway includes Sega Mega Drive titles like Spider-Man, the acclaimed pinball game Dragon's Fury, known as Devil Crash MD in Japan, the action RPG YS2I, Wanderers from YS, and Wonder Boy in Monster World 2Y. Game Gear fans can enter to win Ninja Gaiden and Galaga 91. The special item is a set of collectible phone cards featuring artwork from the popular manga and anime series 3x3 Eyes. Below the presents section, the magazine discusses the Mega Drive's success, highlighting its achievement of 1 million units sold. The article shifts focus to the upcoming Mega CD, Sega CD format, proposing a plan to reach 1 million units sold for the new hardware as well. The staff are seeking reader and manufacturer feedback on how to ensure the Claydrom format succeeds. Finally, a phone number is provided for general questions, though game hints are not available. This page showcases Raiden Trad for the Sega Mega Drive, boldly claiming that this port of the arcade classic surpasses the original. The artwork features the sleek red and white fighting Thunderjet, the player's ship in the game. Screenshots highlight intense top-down shooting action against various enemies and a large boss ship. The game boasts 8 stages, plus an exciting additional special stage, offering plenty of challenges for SHMUP fans. It supports 1 player and was released with an 8 megabit cartridge, priced at 8,800 yen. Published by Micronet and licensed by Seibu Kaihatsu, this release brought the popular arcade shooter experience home in 1991. This page features the upcoming futuristic fighting game, Heavy Nova, for the Sega Mega CD. The dramatic artwork depicts 2 mechs, 1 green and 1 silver, locked in combat within a rocky cavern, setting the stage for intense battles. Prominently displayed is the title, Heavy Nova, and the platform, Mega CD 2, indicating that this is a Mega CD title with 2-player versus capability. Text highlights the game as a futuristic fighting game deathmatch, and asks, "Hot excitement! Can you become the strongest warrior in the universe? Heavy Nova?" The game is described as featuring the core unit of the Earth Sphere Defense Force, the Heavy Duel Unit, suggesting a story rooted in military training leading to a grand saga. 2 small screenshots provide a glimpse of the in-game action, showing the mechs in a battle environment. The iconic Heavy Nova logo, featuring fiery effects, is also present. Published by Micronet, Heavy Nova was scheduled for release in early December 1991, promising cutting-edge mech combat for the new Claydrom format. This page showcases Devil Crash MD, known internationally as Dragon's Fury, for the Sega Mega Drive. The striking artwork features a large, stylized eye, a skeletal figure, and a human-like face with a single tear of blood, reflecting the game's gothic pinball theme. The page highlights the game's amazing visual beauty and announces a high-score challenge campaign with prizes for top players and lottery chances for all entrants. Developed by Naxat Soft and published by Technosoft, Devil Crash MD was released on October 10 for 6,800 yen, offering a unique and visually impressive pinball experience unlike any other. This page presents an announcement from Technosoft regarding a limited repress of their game music CD collection. In response to demand, they are reissuing volumes 1 through 4, with only 1,000 copies available for each CD. Volume 1, titled Illusion, features 25 tracks from their PC titles, including music from the PC versions of Thunder Force 2, Kyukyoku Den, and Batten Tanuki no Daibuken. Volume 2, Excursion, contains arranged versions of tracks from games like Herzog Zwei and Shin Kyukyoku Den, showcasing a diverse range of musical styles. Volumes 3 and 4 focus on fan-favorite Mega Drive games. Volume 3 is dedicated to Thunder Force 2i, featuring the original soundtrack, arranged tracks, and a vocal piece, while Volume 4 covers Elemental Master with its original music, arranged versions, and 2 vocal tracks. On the left side, text overlays game artwork, continuing the commentary on the previous page's game, Devil Crash MD, Dragon's Fury, praising its impact as a shocking pinball debut on the Mega Drive, highlighting its evolved graphics and BGM, and brilliant original stages and sounds. The page also includes details on how fans can order these sought-after music collections. This page showcases exciting new titles for the Game Gear handheld. On the top left, we see an announcement for Kuna-chan's Game Heaven, a collection of 4 mini-games featuring the popular character Kuna-chan, including board games, cards, tennis, and a puzzle game, perfect for competitive play. The main highlight is the reveal of Axe Battler, A Legend of Golden Axe. This isn't your typical beat-em-up. It takes the classic Golden Axe universe and adds significant RPG and adventure elements. The game features a map screen for exploration and information gathering, side-scrolling action segments, and one-on-one battles. It's presented as a definitive action-adventure experience set in the Golden Axe world. Sonic the Hedgehog makes an appearance on this section of the page, likely promoting the Game Gear platform itself. Additionally, the page includes information on the Game Gear console and its TV tuner accessory, demonstrating the system's capabilities beyond gaming.